Maybe.
Style over substance. Attitude is everything. Live on the edge. These are the only 3 rules that guide our future. A future inspired by the work of Hosan Gonzalez, bound by Mike Pondsmith's cyberpunk law. A dark future cast in a neon glow where corporations through nuclear fire have destroyed the known world, save for a few mega metropolises. The tales you are about to witness are built around the heart of one such city. Robo City 16, where the machine rules through a mechanized iron fist. The promise of prosperity through logic and sedation has stagnated the progress of the people. However, what the logic of the machine will never conclude, but the will of a few may, is it's time for change. It's time to rage. For good or ill, the chosen few are those you witnessed before me. Let's meet the now notorious Mortal Code. Where did we start last time? It's been so dang long.
We started on Master Chief last time.
That's true. Good point. So, Luna, take it away.
I'm Luna, and I play Tetra, a netrunner who is an up-and-coming streamer who rolls with the Mortal Code. And I wear a headset that's outfitted with cameras that allows me to hack into tech as well as stream an encrypted POV video to the deep stream, which is actually the stream that you are watching right now. So you can let me know if you have a good idea for us to implement in our game tonight. You can put it in the chat, and I'll either roleplay it or relay it to the group.
Replay it. Roll it.
Somehow tearing me away from Keanu's ugly mug now?
He's probably playing
Zach
actual
playing?
Cyberpunk.
Yes.
Weird characters now.
We will address this.
Did you see he cut his hair?
What? Oh, okay. That's.
Sorry. He looks so different
Turn it into
now.
a podcast.
I am Enzer,
Let's talk
and I
about
play
Keanu.
Tink, an old man who happens to be a techie. Essentially, I fix meat and metal, and I'm crazy. I'm the newest member of the Mortal Code, though I feel like I'm fitting right in, and I may be the only connective tissue to morality within the Mortal Code.
No.
Somehow the code got lost somewhere along the way.
It's called mortal, not moral code.
Well,
Yep.
there's no morality in this code. Anyway, that's me.
No, Astraea.
Hello, I am Remy the Ever Living. I play Astraea Magneta, nomad extraordinaire. I can drive anything. My clothes are short-circuited right now, so they may be flashing or blinking, or I'm not sure what they're doing, but they're rapidly changing luma threads. They're amazing. Yeah, I'm a nomad. Yeah, I have a shotgun. I have a couple blades on me as well, and that's about it.
All right. Now, before we get into the story, we have a few announcements. One is addressing the cyberpunk in the room, in everyone's room right now, most likely, and that, yeah, we're foolish enough to play the Cyberpunk role-playing game the day that Cyberpunk came out. So...
Came out yesterday.
I mean, officially, if you look up Cyberpunk release date, it says the 10th.
I guess.
You know, but I really don't have anything to say other than thank you for joining us on such a momentous day. And if you are with us, and even if you are multitasking, we appreciate the sliver of attention that you've dedicated our way. Also, I have an announcement
Wow.
that, I mean, anywhere in between sliver and full, we appreciate everything. Also, I have had the honor of being on a new D&D show on Twitch called The Maze TV Show. You can look it up at twitch.tv/The Maze TV Show. We stream every Wednesdays from 5 to 7 Pacific Standard Time, and it is a new kind of D&D. The story is created and morphed based off of audience participation. So in a similar way of what we attempt to do on this show, they fully have utilized all of the systems
and mechanisms of Twitch that are available to them to bring in the audience and help affect and shape the story. The story. I'm Skybreaker Scory in that story, and that's why that happened. So, also, just to address, I mean, you guys have played Cyberpunk, where they have eyes that afford them AR and VR abilities, but I'm wearing this headset to bring you into the Cyberpunk universe of Hosan Gonzalez, where he, most everybody in the universe, from Robo to people to mutants, have or are wearing a very obvious kind of VR headset in some way, shape, or form. This is a Cyberpunk or Hosan Gonzalez art skin over an Oculus Quest 2. Oh, also, sorry, really quickly, just to pitch Oculus today, Miss came out, getting awesome reviews. Medal of Honor also came out on PC platform, and Battle Sisters, Warhammer 40k Battle Sisters came out today for Quest 2 as well. Also, I use this headset to help me DM. There are many different panels and things. I'm even watching the stream over here. Bam!
Netra is posting a video of what he sees in the chat, should you be interested to check that out.
Where am I?
Perfectly smurfect. And last but not least, we are joined by Luna and Enzer, and together they make Loser. What a perfect and wonderful combination. And they are the hosts of the Loser Club, a stream that is every Monday, Wednesday, today with us, Thursday, and Friday now. Their main games are Monster Hunter on Monday, West People
West People Wednesday.
West People.
I think we should change that to West People Wednesday.
One of those West people.
Flying
Red
around
Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption.
Oh my god, I'm gonna write this
on
down.
Wednesday, and Friday is
Flying Around Friday.
Flying Around Friday in
West
No Man's Sky.
People Wednesday.
Typical hours are from 5 to 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's all, right? I think that's all.
For now.
For now, we have many more updates to come down the line. But without further ado, let us get back into Cyberpunk, the role-playing game. When last we left our punks of the Mortal Code, they struck a deal with the grounded space station's AI couple. The Mortal Code is to give them a new family in exchange for an exoskeleton and a few satellites. And speaking of family, as the Mortal Code left the station to rendezvous with the rest of the Quasar nomads, they entered into a scene of death. It appeared that Vaingalor Vivid of the Comet Kazes fraternized with Robo City 16's Mercenaries, 01 chief among them with her hulking cybernetic ape arms. During this last stand for the Quasars, Tetra, Astraea's mother and leader of the Quasars, was used as leverage to get the Mortal Code to turn over their charge, Edena. The Mortal Code, desperately looking for a solution, attempted a double cross to save both the girl and the mom, but 01 was not effing around, and killed Tetra before they could save her. Edena, blaming herself, went into a mad, screaming fit, sending everyone and everything around into a mirrored rage. Gaining control back over themselves within the screaming chaos, the Mortal Code managed to escape with Edena and their trusted air car, Bastion. What happened to 01 and the rest of the Quasars remains unknown, and we pick up now, after a long and exhausted drive into the night. Morning has come, and with it, light to illuminate the landscape before them. A vast, scorched desert of waving sand, obscured by disparate pockets of electrical storms and radiation clouds. About a day of travel left until the code reaches New Samarkand's nav point. So, are there any questions to establish the scene, Code?
No.
You do hear perk up over, although a bit hazy this time, over the your network. The AI couple. Honey, we have one more piece of our little bargain to uphold. Jimmy's present that we were saving until he was older? Yes, dear. It flies to new children now. I've sent you, and he's now addressing Netra, I've sent you an executable file. All you have to do is open it and place the AR beacon down, and our last exosuit should be to you within about a minute, depending on your position.
We all hear this?
Yes. But she sees the executable file sort of cross her screen and get added to her list of software. And so it's really just like when you're building something in a game, how you like hold down the button and it shows a silhouette of that thing, and you like move your head around and the silhouette moves across the ground.
Yeah.
It's pretty much that exact same thing. It's like beep. Yes. So they say that as you guys cross, and again it was through a bit of a haze of static as well, almost like you are either leaving the range that's capable to talk to them in, or the satellite that they had spoken of that was responsible for like global communication, depending on where it was, might just be out of range after your spurt of travel.
Well, I've never heard of a...
Oh no, we would all know what an exosuit is, right?
Yeah, it'd be pretty standard tech. That varies super heavily. Some are for sprinting, some are for lifting things up, some are for mechanical work, some are for like climbing. It's like they have a huge variety.
Yeah, I've never seen such delivery capabilities before, but if the exosuit's anything like the tech that we saw in their ship, could be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Love to get my hands on it.
Do you want me to pull it now?
Maybe not now.
Oh, okay. You just let me know.
Yeah. Let's wait until we make our way to New Samarkand, eh?
Okay.
Yeah. And before you looks like a sand, like apocalypse hellscape, pretty much. Waving dunes. You can see pockets of like charged clouds. But overall, there is this like Blade Runner 2049 like orange haze in front of you as the sun is rising up in the distance. Astraea, I would say if you want, give me a reflex plus driving to see how expertly you can navigate pretty much to avoid the different pockets of radiation and storm clouds. You do know that the Nation of Sands, based off of what Hakita had told you, is a large region of hyper like nuked area. Like it was almost like a concentrated zone of destruction, and it's like impossible to grow anything. Everything has been ruined and laid bare, and this is where the mobile city of New Samarkand you are traveling into. And if you'd like to do anything, like if anybody would like to help Astraea in any way, by all means.
23.
But maybe you don't need to. Okay, so the first leg of your journey, a few hours into the... also, you guys are still really beaten down.
Very.
Yeah, I'm seriously wounded.
So the dude, Vitalith, sorry, it's been 2 weeks. You hear this like, bing! Guys, I'm back in action. Who needs a little some of this? And you just hear like goopy string, like.
I'm gonna look around and size up everybody's wounds.
Give one to everybody.
I mean, at least he's got 5.
Hey, how you looking there, Astraea?
I just said just hit me one time. Vitalith.
Okay, well,
Vitalith. Hit me once.
Vitalith. Start with him. Make a way around.
How dare you?
I may need to.
Plain as day for all to see that Astraea is a woman.
Vitalith defending my honor.
Sorry.
Okay, just fill my whole Vitalith. That's it.
I knew you
I'm a
always
dude. She's a dude. Cause we're all dudes.
Hey! As he finishes up Astraea, it goes to Tink and starts to hum that song, and then goes to Netra.
And sorry, how many did you say?
20 each to all of you, and so through 2 charges left of Vitalith, and remember those charges can be converted also to heal armor. So if anybody's armor is missing, that's also a potential. But it seems like you guys are pretty well beaten up.
You said that we get 1 daily first aid attempt against each person. That makes sense.
Yes, but in this case you haven't rested. So actually, until you do take a rest, like Astraea is going to be driving for a while, you guys might want to cycle off. Like an option is to cycle off resting.
Slept. I think I recall ending that by like just zoning out, looking out the window.
Oh, okay.
Before
then
the long drive.
I'm sorry to ask this of you, Astraea, but you are now D&D rules of exhausted. So your skill check, go ahead and roll a second time, and whichever is the lower, take that one.
They're the same.
Perfect.
Nice.
Wonderful. Driving's in your blood, some would say.
So, okay. I slowly fall asleep at the wheel.
But you're still exhausted. So I'd say that you guys can also add your additional bodies to your health.
Ooh.
That's what that is. It's not that you get like a first aid check every day. It's that you get to just add your body to your health every day, so long as you do rest.
Oh wow.
Can I metagame something?
Very honest. What's up?
Can I just take my body health points and then give my Vitalith injection to Tink over here?
Are you doing pretty good on health?
Yeah, I don't need
That good,
all
huh?
that health.
Oh yeah. Then sure.
I'm just barely
So 40,
not seriously wounded.
40 points to you, Tink. And
it would have been a waste.
Okay.
Thank you. I feel much better.
Okay, so with that, and you're driving, you have been able to navigate after maybe a few hours into the morning. It's about 10 a.m. At this point. Now you are deeply surrounded by, you can almost hear this like of the moving sandstorms. Now you're almost like bleeding into an overall sort of like the sand is getting thicker. The filter between you and your vision is getting hazier with just kicked up dirt and sand. Give me another driving plus reflex. And if anybody wants to help or can come up with any way to help Astraea navigate.
Natural 10 with a 30.
Nice.
Oh wow.
While he's doing that, can I just try and top myself off with first aid to myself? I was that badly wounded.
Oh, yeah, sure.
We can go after you respond to his roll.
Oh, yeah, with a natural 10, you're paying attention to the sounds. You are, as it starts to, like, you start to feel impacts around Bastion. It's just getting denser and denser and denser. More hours transpire, but as the car is now sort of like shaking a little bit and rocking from the force of being completely submerged in fast blowing, scraping sand. You can hear it sort of scraping along the side of the car as well, but you have managed to, just through small nuances and shifts that you've noticed, been able to navigate in between the very dangerous zones of it, taking you to a few more hours into the day.
Nice driving there, Astraea.
I'm supposed to roll that at disadvantage?
Oh,
Since I'm
ye
exhausted.
crap. Yeah, you were. Yes, keeping me honest.
Oh, it's a 28.
Yep.
Wow.
Definitely still good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I roll first aid.
Yes, go for it.
I honestly kind of forget how I rolled first aid.
It's first aid is tech plus first aid plus 1d10. And then I will say,
Fuck, man. God.
that'll afford you a d6.
What?
Like to add to your health. Because first aid is not it's not a solution. It's literally a band-aid, pretty much.
That's if he rolls high enough, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you get past a certain
I rolled a
threshold,
natural 1.
roll a
but-
d6.
Ooh.
6?
Take 6 points of health away from you.
Away!
As you're like you're tending to your wounds right now, but on your own, as you're like lifting one patch up and trying to hold pieces of skin together to like apply the gel that seals it together, you sneeze, and blood just shoots out of the opening.
Oh God!
Like you have to stuff part of your small intestine back in. Definitely a hemorrhoid.
You get old people blood on my seats.
Well, not a
Old people
hemorrhoid.
blood.
A
Ugh.
what is
Baby.
it?
Hemorrhage?
Hemorrhoid.
What do you
Is it
Hemorrhoid?
hemorrhoid? What's it called when you like a piece of your inside comes out of like?
Yeah, hemorrhaging, like internal hemorrhaging, like internal bleeding.
Oh no,
Sounds
hemorrhaging
so
is bleeding, and
gross.
that's no. This is like literally, it's like you're literally. It's imagine your lower intestine slipping past your muscle.
Is that a hemorrhage?
No, it's not.
My
No, I mean, not hemorrhage. I
EMT
mean,
training is
Hernia?
failing me.
Hernia.
Hernia, that's
Yes,
it.
that's
Yeah,
what it is.
hernia.
Thank you.
That's-
How?
See, I said the same word. I was like, is that not?
Nasty.
Um.
I'm gonna put that back in.
Ew.
All right.
Careful when you
Um,
poop now.
I would say, give me perception check, everybody here.
No. I won't.
Maybe I
Yeah.
will. Maybe I won't.
That was cocked. 17.
Okay. 17.
14.
16.
Okay. I'd say Astraea with trying to pay hyper close attention as you
First one was first one was a natural 10, but disadvantage. Yeah.
somehow nobody's taken over the wheel for you, so you're still not doing too hot. You
Eh.
paying extra special close attention to all of the signs around you as you again you were like deeply immersed in this this gray sort of gray, this like red clay mist in front of you or all around you, and you hear some sounds that are not that don't seem like they are due to the natural forces of the land. You hear some like high-pitched shuffling, but only you're catching like the very briefest muffle of the high-pitched portion. So it's like it's hard to tell if it's electric or if it's organic. It's difficult, but it stands out amongst the other sounds, and you're not familiar with it. Go ahead and give me another driving check.
I'm just gonna shake my head, I guess, and be like, "What the
Astraea,
pistol's that?" I'm gonna focus on the road.
if you need a break,
24 is both times.
I may be old, but I can drive.
This is good. It keeps my mind off of things.
Okay,
It
but
just
seems
zones
like
out and
you're
still drives. Like,
off your game.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. So as you, with that driving check, with your perception, with the fatigue that you're feeling, you continue to push through. And literally, the only sort of navigation that you have is the pressing of vague light from the sun through these thick sheets of sandstorm, and the beacon, pretty much just the raw beacon of the nav point that is just far off into the distance, and staying on course that way. You still manage to sort of like, you feel the car get pushed to the side a little bit by the wind smacking against it. So you veer to the right ever so slightly, as sensing a more of the chaotic portions of the storm, the electrified areas of the storm, as you feel like a tickle across the right side of, sorry, the left side of your door as well. Left for everything I said. I think I said right twice. And so you just skirt alongside it and just continue. Another hour passes, and you still feel this sort of almost as though it's the electric storm is almost naturally following in the direction that you're skirting alongside it. And with the 24, as I said, about an hour passes, and you feel the pressure let up from the left side a little bit, and are almost glad for it. Except you start to see this like small shadow, this like thin ovular shadow get larger and darker, and it starts to create this silhouette of this elongated almost like worm, and as you veer to the right,
It's gonna be like
piercing out is this organic tongue with one large sharp pincer at the top, and almost these like small mandibles that just reach out and grab around the entire car. As the left side goes dark, a few of the windows on the right side get pressed together, and
hit the shield.
right now, as everybody is rocked by this, it's already gone past the shield. The shield does not.
Oh.
Yeah, so you're grabbed. You can make a driving check, but you quickly see through the small space opening on the right side the shifting of sand just slapping faster than ever before, and you feel your bodies jerk and get pulled, and just the shifting in momentum and forces as you're being grabbed along by this long, organic, thick tongue. Imagine the Dead Space first game creature, where pretty much the exact same thing happened. Whipped around the corner, grabbed Isaac, and is now pulling him in a direction. So you guys are getting pulled. Just
I'm getting on the gun.
You may, but the gun is. It seems to be as you grab the handles of the gun, trying to shift it around and get a view. It's stuck in one place and dark.
I'm just gonna let Loda burst.
Let me know what you all are doing right now. Okay, you do see, like, over the windshield, you hear this like from above the car that's rocking the vehicle, and you don't hear any like or anything. You just hear like, and you see blood like stream down in between the darkened space where the flesh of this creature is obscuring all the windows around, as it's just seeping down and spreading across the window. So you are doing damage.
It can bleed. It can die. I want to set it on fire.
You have one thing you can do. So you're Tink is shooting.
Are you using the gun
Don't
on
need to
top
bleed.
of the car?
I forget it's on the. I think it's like in.
It is on top of the car.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's what you're using?
Yeah.
Can I hack the gun to make it more like aim assist, basically?
It'd have to be better than aim assist, because it's currently the situation of the gun is it's being held down. It's being like viced down by the meat of this thing.
Can I turn on make the car invisible, basically? Just if you can't use the aimer, you just look at it. I mean, we can see through the car now, can't we? If it's invisible, you can just like walk on your targets or something like that.
Oh, yeah, nice thinking. Yeah, so car goes invisible. You can. So what I mean is that aim assist wouldn't make much of a difference, but if you wanted to in some way try and like increase the power output, or to the gun, or to
I'll overload the gun with power.
Okay. Give me a tech plus basic tech. Or, sorry, tech plus cyber tech, or tech plus interface, I would say. Yeah, let's do interface, because this is, you're not actually, like, working with physical components.
20.
20. Okay. And as the car goes invisible, you truly do see this, like, about 75% of the car is, like, gulped by this creature. As you're looking down, there's no real esophagus. Like, you're not looking down into the gullet of any creature. It is just, like, raw, calloused, deep, like, dark blue with some sand, like, clay formations over the skin. So it's lived here for a long time. Like, you're being grabbed in a palm rather than a mouth, if that makes sense. And so, as you're being pulled through with the increased power output, you actually do at this point hear this this shifting, this massive sort of like, it feels like there is a powerful presence that is shifting because of the damage that's been done to the appendage, whatever this is. It might be a tongue, who knows. But you are pulled through, and you come to a state of calm. You are not slammed into anything. As you are sort of like pulled through the sandstorm, the appendage that you now see comes to a rest, hovering around this, it almost, what you see immediately are two other arms that are just lazily waving around on the perimeter of a single large, what looks to be like carapace, almost like the plating of a beetle. It's difficult to tell if it is exactly a beetle, if it's just a large creature with a huge carapace. It's the arm that you are inside of right now. It looks to be about, not stretched out, 30 feet in length from its sort of where it's connected at the base to maybe like 5 feet in diameter, with the sort of grabbing portion with a long sort of pincer thing at the top, just extending outward to grab you. That's sort of larger than 5 feet. And the creature itself seems to be embedded in the ground. You don't see any immediate head or face. This is just like the obvious things that you'd see immediately. But it's maybe roughly like 60 feet long and 50 feet wide.
Wait,
Wow.
Is it down below the ground, or is it on like ground level?
You see that it's actually, give me a perception check. Or perception, I think is best here.
Can I do a free action to yell something?
Yeah.
Tetra! Try out that exo thing!
21.
No.
21. Okay, everybody roll initiative.
I mean,
Yeah, just right now, so we're establishing order. This is just, that was a free perception check just because you asked.
Look at you.
He got a free yell.
oh, wow. I got a 11 for initiative.
13.
All right.
Why?
I don't like you.
So, I apologize. Astraea, what was yours?
Initiative?
Yeah.
11.
11.
18.
13.
Okay. Okay. What you see, Astraea, before the initiative happens, now that you're looking, is it looks as though it's hard to tell how above the surface it is. It certainly is. I suppose it's harder to tell how beneath the surface it is. I think it's clear that it's a portion of it is in the ground. It's not clear how much. but you see that the connecting, almost like large tendrilled arms, almost imagine like a Venusaur, but with a beetle's back as opposed to
Flower.
a flower. Exactly. But you don't see the head. You don't see like the base limbs. You just see these what are actually 4 limbs. 3 are up and active, and it seems like 1 is lame or dead or shriveled somehow, and it seems like there's like another growth right next to it. And you do notice that in one of the other arms hanging, also grabbed, is a device. It's a machine. You squint and get a closer look, and you actually see like of the body of a man hanging out of what seems to be either like a bike or a small kind of machine. It's hard to tell from where you're at, but that's what you get with your perception check. Netra, you are the first one up.
I would like to place an exosuit in front of me on the seat or something so I can get into it. That's not gonna work.
I mean, maybe just roll an intelligence check in real life.
It's just too big.
So it's going to be a projectile coming from very far away, and you are inside of a vehicle.
I thought maybe it would just materialize.
Oh, that would be convenient.
Inside the front of the car, like it's in the engine now. Ah!
No. We'll say that like to add to the display that you're getting, there's like a digital fishing line effect where it shows almost like the trajectory.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna place it ahead of us a little, because are we still moving?
No, you seem
just stopped.
It's interesting. It doesn't. It's hard to tell if this creature is alive, if it's active. Currently, you are in no very immediate danger. You're not being put into a mouth. You're not being crushed by it. As Astraea looked over, it was almost hanging another thing or captive in its clutches that also hasn't been dealt with yet.
Okay. I'm going to spawn the exosuit outside of the car, next to it.
Next to the creature?
Next to the car?
Okay, you're hanging in the air, again, like 30 feet high.
Below the car?
Sensible. Okay, so just like at the base of the monster, or?
Sounds like on the ground in our vicinity, below us.
Sure. Activated, and now it's going to take a minute to get there.
Oh, that's a long time.
So 6. Yeah. Well.
So the countdown timer starts.
Forgot about that. Whoops.
Okay.
It's on its way. Tink.
Oh, I just realized I rolled D20s. Jeez, I've been playing too much D&D recently. No such thing. Foolish.
You should just half all your rolls from now on then.
Mm-hmm.
As punishment. Or at least the next 3 rolls.
Yep.
Maybe
those are the rules.
Punishment.
Okay.
Cyberpunk way.
Maybe I should half your life.
It's already done.
Late.
Way more than half, actually. It's
Okay,
more than half.
you hear this and feel this dense vibration, almost this like exhale. Still no immediate reaction or movement from the creature, but it almost felt like a dense exhale. Sorry. Oh, Tink, you're up. Then Astraea.
I'm gonna hold the triggers down to the machine gun and do one of these motions.
Oh, so you're just firing as much as you can?
With more firepower now.
No, she's not hacking into it anymore.
But it didn't. I didn't go yet. So what she did just did nothing. It like went in between my bursts.
No, okay, we'll say that it does because I foolishly explained it as though like when she had done it, it was just continuing your burst and making it more powerful to display the effect.
Yeah, I just hadn't rolled again for that to have any effect.
Yeah, we'll say that like the overheated bar is at a stable like red, but it just means that you can go. It's overpowered.
Yes.
Okay, so you're just firing at the meat
In the
around
hand
her.
thing, that's hand palm thing that's grabbing us.
Okay, go ahead and roll damage.
How many d6 again? Was it 6?
10.
10? 20.
Ooh.
Damage.
I would
You're
say
using
do
D6s?
12d6 with the
That's-
added with the added damage.
66 is 36
Silly.
bullets.
Really? Okay. Can I help me?
This will still be 36 bullets, but
Oh.
I don't think
Gotta
we
reroll
I don't
that
think we
one.
have any more bullets really, but I don't think we're even counting for a while.
you guys definitely should have some more bullets left. Like you picked up some and you haven't used all of them. There like hasn't been a circumstance where you've been firing a lot outside of the race.
that. 48.
48. Okay, you just hear this like pulping sound followed by the view of a hyper white flash, almost like a not a floodlight, a riot light. What's it called? Just like a
Strobe light?
strobe light. There we go. As the flesh is being just pulped off of the top, and you see chunks flying out as you and the stock that you are being held in is slowly weaving down to the ground and getting smaller and smaller. Actually, give me a perception check, Tink.
16.
16. Okay, you know that you just destroyed the entire upper portion, including like the pincer claw thing that just shattered. And it's losing blood like a balloon loses air. It's just spewing out in gouts as it's losing most of its form, and your vehicle is just naturally floats towards the ground. But you've got your power back effectively. However, you hear the bassy exhale, only now it seems to be a very purposeful as you see the carapace lift off of the ground as dust explodes out from under it, and it lifts itself up 5, 10, 15 more feet, and you see this massive chubby insectoid type body underneath, with many different legs that start to almost like burrow out of the sand and place themselves on top of the surface of the sand as it lifts itself even higher. And the stalk carrying the guy is just weaving around now, and you hear, "Whoa! What's going on?" As you look in their direction, it is a young man, maybe mid-20s, with a jumpsuit on and some different like foreign objects around him. You can't see much else because he's being gripped by the chunky hand of the creature right now. And you do see this head almost like dig itself out of the sand of almost this like insectoid ant eater. This long curling mouth with this tongue that just like as it starts to pull the captive above its mouth, and its other arm is sort of looking around for something to attack as it sets its eyes, well, its mandibles on you, on your vehicle. So next up is Astraea.
Is the vehicle still grabbed, or
No, the vehicle's not grabbed anymore.
is it still drive? Is it still on? Or is
Yeah, the
it...
vehicle's on. The vehicle's
I'm gonna
free.
start to drive, I guess, with this thing on. I'm not gonna go anywhere. I'm just gonna start doing, I guess, a circle around the thing, whatever it is.
Okay. As you're slowly orbiting it in at a safe distance, like away from the.
Yeah, a little away from me. I keep keeping an eye on the whatever those mandible thingies are.
Okay. The second one does reach to go. As you pull away from the vicinity, it goes to reach to smack you. So go ahead and give me a reflex plus driving. As it's almost like a scorpion tail, the now extended pincer. That now you notice that
26?
every mandible only has one pincer. Let's see. Wow. Or sorry, not mandible. Why do I keep saying that? Appendage, like the tentacle, the stalk. As it reaches for you, the extended, almost like what's it on a bee
Stinger?
called? Stinger. There we go. An extended stinger. It sort of like lashes out, and you pull away, dipping the car down and backing up as the sort of like hub plates on the bottom highlight and pull you back, just barely missing the stinging strike. And you hear, guys, help! Help! And you see him, like, he has got one arm free, and he's like looking around for him. Oh, this guy. And he's like reaches in to the obscured area by the meat, and you see like a few bullets as he's being hung upside down just sort of like dance across his body as they're falling, and they like land on the tongue of this creature, and he grabs one, puts it in this gun. You see him adjust a few settings as he's like upside down trying to aim. You notice, well, I mean, it's obvious at this point that he like while he's hanging upside down, you see him fire, but not into the mouth. You see him fire just like this, almost like bolt, onto the carapace of the creature, and you see that bolt start to emanate this almost like mist. As you hear this like, as he shoots another bolt and another bolt, 3 bolts in total, forming a really lazy triangle as he's trying to fire these off, one after the other while still being whipped around. And as the third one hits this, and they all sort of discharge this mist, you can see, or you can hear the sort of like solidifying and cracking of the surface. Is almost like liquid nitrogen has been spilled all over it. So next up is Netra. You are back up.
I guess, can I continue to hack this gun to overpower it, basically?
Yeah, I would say that can be a bonus action if you want to try anything else.
Well, I don't really, I guess, shoot off a shotgun.
Where are you trying to shoot?
At the closest part of meaty monster.
So one of the tendrils?
Yeah.
Okay. Just go ahead and flip a coin. Heads, you'll shoot the tendril with the guy on it. Tails, you'll shoot the tendril that just lurched after you. Actually, the one that lurched after you would be the closest, so if you don't want to...
Don't you have the sniper rail gun?
The one that's on top of the car?
No, the one that you picked up from the space station.
Sniper railgun.
Yeah, we were on our way out, and
You were like, fine, I'll pick it up. Magnus
Oh,
made a
that's
big
the
fuss about
one.
it.
That's the one where he was like, nobody's gonna pick it up.
Yeah,
No
it's like,
one's
I
gonna-
described it, and you guys just like, so?
like, that's cool. Let's go.
Okay.
I have this
yeah.
air compressor.
There's no downside picking that up. There's not even one. You could only do what you did.
I remembered in my memory. Yes, that gun that I picked up, the really big one. I'll use that and shoot it at the monster.
Okay, go ahead and roll to attack.
Just marksmanship?
Reflex plus marksman plus 1d10.
Damn.
16.
Thankfully, with rifles, the roll is much lower, depending on how close they are, and I'd say that tendril, based off of Astraea's backing away to a safe distance, is roughly 70 feet away from you right now, so you only had to beat a 10. Ha!
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of wild. But yeah, that's true.
And what's the damage for this gun?
Oh, it's meters.
It's the rivet sniper rifle.
Should write this down.
I am. Well, I will. As soon as he tells me.
It's 5d6, and then if they fail a strength save equivalent, they will be pushed back 10 feet and be prone or pinned to whatever is behind them. In the case of this thing, it's a giant, massive arm, so you just hear this like as goop
It's a mixed bag.
jettisons out of the hole.
16 points of damage.
Not too good. Just kidding.
Not horrible.
Probably better than what your shotgun was gonna be.
Yeah. Well, no, actually the shotgun is 5d6.
As you see the very obvious sort of pinpoint hole just spewing out gouts of blood, you just see Vitalist's hand slowly cross the windshield in desire.
Push
I'm
it down
gonna
like
put
claptrap.
my finger up to Vitalith's whatever looks like a lip. Be like, no.
I don't know where he's been. I wouldn't do that.
Okay, next up is sorry, so that was your action. That's action. Oh, okay. Oh, fun.
I guess the car is still invisible, so it looks like we're just driving nothing. Just
Oh, you are invisible.
the car is just we're just three floating people with a like floating person.
It's gotta be weird.
Form of Wonder Woman.
Okay, so at this point you see the tendril with the guy in it start to lean down towards the mouth as the tongue wraps around the dude and starts to almost like twist around and pull him out of its own appendage into the mouth as you just hear screaming. And now that I remember that you're invisible, he actually wouldn't have said anything to you guys.
Oh, I thought our invisibility was like the car turns invisible, but we're still visible inside the car.
No.
That would be so
I was like,
weird.
what in the world?
This is useful invisibility.
Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I thought it
not
was like
Wonder
useless
Woman.
invisibility. Yeah, but yeah, just to
invisibility,
see through
but-
things, just to see through the car.
Bright light shines
Purely
down.
to
Spotlight,
camouflage
actually.
your parking job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he wouldn't have said anything. And I would say all of you can give me a perception check, I would say. As now you are out of danger and it's really just this dude. But also, depending on what your values are or what your priorities are, you still probably have to wait for that thing to come down.
15.
Natural 10.
Natural 10. Okay. You see that he's as he's getting pulled and wrapped around, you see his arms are shifting. He put away the weapon and he's looking down, and you see him put on this almost like pilot's mask with the what do you call that thing? The tube.
The nozzle?
The tube leading.
Air tube? Oxygen?
Yes, exactly.
His trunk.
You see him put that on, and this almost like bulb, almost like 1950s sci-fi helmet, just like vroom, around his face, and you see him, like the mechanism that was surrounding him, you see him flip a few switches on it, just like really quickly, as it almost like shifts down into a backpack. And you see these, it's honestly a really bizarre sight. It's like a technology you haven't seen yet, as these waving bands of fabric sort of swirl around his arms and sort of solidify in place, almost like a natural suit, as he just goes right inside.
Alright, well, he looks like he prepared well for that. Should we leave? Or should we? No, let's see what he has.
And I would say yes. At this point, Tink, you are up, but the beast is not reacting to you. Like, so you guys can wait until the suit gets here, or you can continue your onslaught, or you can just leave.
Tetra, can you change the trajectory or maybe cancel it?
Let me try. I look for a large red cancel button on the exosuit delivery.
So I mean, there's no cancel button, but there is like you have a small variance of where you can adjust the trajectory.
I can only move it a little bit. I can't cancel it.
Is this thing gonna land with some force or no?
I don't know. I've never used this before.
Would you hit the beetle with it?
Huh?
Are we out of combat then at this point? Like, can we talk freely?
Yes, you can. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's a countdown. Be mindful of that. So you're out of combat, and right now the countdown will start.
Very cool. Well, yeah. See if maybe we can bring her down on top of the beetle. That'd be cool.
I'm sure that person will be fine in there. Yeah, he looked like he had a pretty tough suit on. Anyways, so.
Might give him a scare.
Alright. I will change to the location to be on top of
With
the
20
beast.
seconds left, like the digital fishing line gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Where are you aiming for? Anywhere specific on the beetle? For one of the arms? For the head? For where you?
Can I aim for the head or what looks like a head?
Yes. There also is that like mystery thing spot with the three, like the triangle point on the back. But
That one.
okay, cool.
Sorry.
The Illuminati spot. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and the tendrils sort of go around and they do that little. What's the Illuminati thing? You just look through the. Yeah, the pincer connects to a little fleshy nub, and anyway, and 10, 9, 8. You start to see the
Brace for impact.
coming from the sky, pounding through. It's almost like this small comet coming through the red clouds of the storm that you're still inside of, by the way.
As it's coming down, could I slowly drive towards it a little bit? Not like meeting it when it hits there. Just like after it lands, like if it hits on the ground, just like be there next to it so somebody can just hop out and do it. Like kind of if it's there.
Yeah, so you want to be sort of like in position to.
So yeah, to get it once it gets down.
Yeah, let me just do a quick perception check. Just a quick one, you know.
As he's driving towards it, I will prepare to engage with the machine gun.
Okay. As it's lining up perfectly with the AR silhouette that you've landed there, it's you see some boosters, so like press up from the bottom as it's sort of like trying to find stability, and then the boosters just all at once turn off as it's about a foot above the carapace, and it just cracks through, breaking like thin ice the top of this carapace, as just shards of the what now seems obvious are like hyper frozen portions of its armored back, and it just sinks into the meat of it. It's almost like you see it go down until just the tip of it is sticking out above the entrance.
I
And
didn't
We'll have to
say
pull that out.
anything.
and you just hear this almost like bubble pop from inside as gunk shoots up from the entrance as it sinks deeper in.
Ew. Oh, great.
And go ahead and make another driving check as you see the pincer almost like scanning the area, and it immediately
I'm gonna shoot it.
Natural
lurches
10, but
back.
it's
Engage.
24?
Oh, with a disadvantage?
Yeah, with disadvantage is 24.
Okay, go ahead and roll to attack.
Pretty good. 22.
Okay, that definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage. And so
Here we
long
go.
as Netra is still using her bonus action to maintain the hack, it can do this output. So just double, so 12 dice again.
Yeah. Okay. That one.
Is it possible to hack that exoskeleton or exosuit?
Yes.
I'm gonna hold my main action until I'm within range.
Make it do angels.
Okay.
To hack the exosuit.
40 points.
40 points. Okay, you just...
Or 40 bullets.
This one, it's still 36 bullets, but it's just double damage. If that makes sense. They're coming out with more force or whatever would make their damage higher.
Velocity.
There we go. Velocity Raptor. Okay, so let's see. That was Tinks. You did 40. It's you just like rip up along the length of it as it's leaning forward. It's almost like shoving itself into your bullets. And it's like, and as it just hovers around the car, you like utterly obliterate that stinger again, and it just like. With the momentum going forward, it's almost like the physical body stopped, but the blood kept continuing, and all the innards just like as it shrivels down again into. It actually looks exactly like the shriveled one that you saw coming in, the fourth one that wasn't quite growing. Okay, so next up, that was Tink. Astraea.
So I guess I saw which side did the exoskeleton sink into of the beetle, like left side,
Pretty much
right
picture
side,
like dead center.
dead center.
Yeah, in like the
on the
middle
backside.
of its back.
So which side are we on? Like left side, right side?
You would be on left side.
We'd be on the left side of the creature, so I'm facing the creature when I look out my window, or the other
Yes, you're facing the creature, but you're on its left side.
way? Okay, can I take the Goku blade and just like put it out the window and just extend it, like then just try and drive past the legs, I guess, just or one of the legs. I'm carrying like a chariot.
Yes, but I would. Okay, so
Wouldn't that just get ripped down?
so that's what I'm getting at here is that like it is up to you and your party to find an anchor for that thing, because your arm and the speed at which that you're going to
Oh, I
go.
thought the legs were like, are the legs like really big legs? Like,
Oh, so you're going after the smaller insect legs. At
yeah,
the
like the
bottom.
legs that
It's still got like they've still got small carapaces along their outside. They do not look super meaty, but still, like imagine a human even slicing a tree that's like.
Yeah, never mind. I thought it was like one of those like a skin like thin insect leg like.
Small little wiggly tendril legs.
Oh yeah, insects usually have tiny legs and big bodies. So it's like, oh, cool. But no, I won't do that then. I'll just, I guess.
It was a cool idea.
Keep
So
driving, yeah.
what you
I'll just
can do is like you do have a cybernetic component. You can, if you wanted to. Who's in the passenger seat? I forget.
I don't remember.
I think I'm in the back.
I think everybody's in the back right now since they're firing.
Oh, then you're good. Like you can extend it outside of your passenger seat, and then literally the frame of the car will be what the blade slams up against, and you will still have to make a strength check, but it'll be much less if that's what you want to do.
I guess I'll do that. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Go ahead and make just a full Dex plus brawling or Dex plus melee weapon. Haha. And I would say do... This is a straight roll, just because I think this is a cool idea.
X plus melee weapon.
Yes.
Yeah, that sucks.
Hey, there you go.
It'll be a 17, but I got a natural 1, so.
It's
disadvantage.
The very first limb, the very first small insect leg that you try and go for, it's really unfortunate timing because you hear this like disruption coming from inside of the creature, and it like leans down to the left where you're on, and so the blade gets pinched inside of the armor plating and ripped from out of your hand as you just sail forward. The blade shrinks down and is now just stuck in the very bottom, now looking to be leaning in a dangerously heavy way as you sail forward and past.
Oh, the blade might be either broken or...
The blade, you don't know if it's broken or not, but it definitely was ripped from your hands with a natural one.
Oh, I was sitting out the passenger side, though.
Yeah, so imagine, like, it. So you are holding it.
Yeah.
And it's extended out of the passenger window. So you're doing this, like, drive-by
it's like
slice. The tip of the blade gets snagged. And what would happen if the blade was anchored suddenly and you kept driving forward?
It would do this. If it would do that, it would hit the window. Because it would turn with the car going this way and the blade hits, it would go.
Yes, okay. And then when you continue to drive forward, it would be pulled away from you.
That's why I think I thought it would either break because of all that force, or just did it just like super shrink down really fast or something.
Okay, so you would have to get a large amount of speed to be able for this to even work. You would have to go fast enough for it to literally continue with the momentum and slice through something. You have to have the
no, that's
speed
not.
to
I don't care about that. I'm just
no. I know. What I'm saying is, you are going at such a speed that as soon as it was snagged, you went forward, and the blade. Yes, it did arc to the right, but as you went forward, it kept the angle kept getting harsher and harsher before the blade ultimately just left the car. Do these physics sound confusing to anybody else, or like the angles of? If you wanted to shatter the windshield, I can do that. But what I'm trying to say is that you lost your blade to no additional damage to the car.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Yeah.
It's like you stick something out of the window, it gets pulled, it's going to continue to go out of the window.
Yeah, I thought more damage would be happening to or I thought we'd just lose the weapon or damage the car or something. Yeah.
No, it's just a strength check. I don't see a reason why I would damage your car if you failed a strength check. If you failed a driving check, then that would make sense to me. Okay, that was Astraea, and yeah, you did see that. Create Guardian? What do you mean? Oh, I guess you might have been right. You still hear you hear disturbance inside. It's unclear whether or not that is the exoskeleton or if that is
inside the beetle.
The dude, yeah.
Huh.
Like there's you almost see this like when you put when you put liquid on top of a turned on its side base thing, and it starts like sort of like pulse outward. That's what's happening out of the opening up top from the frozen area. Just like sorry, I just need to do this. But Netra, you are up.
I'm still holding my action until I can be within range to hack the exosuit.
I would say as Astraea is like pulling along down the base, you do see like in your digi view the like silhouette sort of appear just as it's close enough.
Yes, I wish to hack it.
Okay, go ahead and give me a
tech and interface.
Tech and interface. Oh, yes.
21.
21. Okay, yes, you do manage to manage to make a connection. The defenses have been disabled, so it was very easy. So you sort of, as you get into its view, you just see mostly blackness and green, and you actually see what, like, imagine being in an esophagus, only the esophagus has other pieces of organic bubbling sort of like flesh inside of the esophagus, but there are a few different openings down the esophagus, and at the very end you see this like green, like pulsing, beating heart. Go ahead and make a perception check. I gave you that because that would be the most obvious thing that you see in your current circumstance.
14.
14 of the 14, I would say you see you see definitely, how to describe this, through the shifting sort of pulsing inner organic workings of this creature, where there's the pretty much pure evil on the other side, the heart of pure evil. You see this like glowing pink hand that just slaps on to the surface of the heart, from like emerging from out of the gunk, and you don't see anything else.
Okay.
Yep.
Anything with the exosuit, or
You can attempt to move.
I'd like to move. Do I have full functionality of like its limbs and everything, or like?
Yes, I would say that you do. And it's, you know, that's how foolish I am. This is a great idea, but I didn't actually plan for you controlling the exoskeleton remotely. So I have like reflex and dex +4, and armor is automatically 25 for when you're wearing the exoskeleton.
Okay.
So I don't really just want to arbitrarily make up stats for it right here. May I see your paper?
Yeah.
Really quickly, just to get like a good frame of reference.
Are there like exoskeletons in the rule book?
I would just say your reflex and dex are going to be 10, but you don't have any additional. Actually, and you can use anything that is intellect, you can still transfer over in terms of skills. Or, sorry, abilities. Or skills. Yeah, skills. If that makes sense. Like, if you have to use the camera of this thing to make a decision, you're still using your normal mind, and you can use your intellect-based skills. But anything, it would just have a 10 plus 1d10 for your reflex. Or, sorry,
Okay.
for like a strength or anything like that.
Cool. I would like to try and make my way towards the heart as well.
Okay, go ahead and give me a second. Go ahead and give me a dex plus I guess it'd just be dex plus 1d10.
Hmm. 12.
I'm shifting the until I literally figured, like, I really should have thought about this ahead of time. Until I figure out like a really solid mechanic for this. What was your core roll?
My core roll?
Yeah, your D10 roll.
2.
Okay, yeah, you
Out of the box.
it's almost
Rolled
like
it.
Yeah, can I reroll it?
No, it's almost like a cyst pops as you're navigating through, and it just like pushes you back a few feet as you wade forward. You manage to make it. Let's say that it's 20 feet between you and the heart. You have made it 5 feet successfully forward, and you see. Now that you have more clarity, pushing past some of the more meaty or organic parts, you see that the hand is connected to the jumpsuit that you saw from the guy going in, and it looks like it's hard to tell, but it looks like the hand is like made out of sequins from where you're at.
Ooh.
It's like red glittering sequence that's turning to like a weird kind of purple with the green reflecting off it. I don't know if that's how it works, but it is now. Okay, so next up is the creature, and you guys are. He still has one limb. You guys are close enough. I'll make a perception check. Natural 10. So, Astraea, you can give me another driving check at disadvantage. Reflex driving.
Do I get any opportunity to
28.
attempt to intercept with bullets?
Yeah, I'll say definitely that. Just for this instance, as you guys are sort of like on high alert, as Astraea just sort of like twists away and out of the way, and sort of drives along the length of this arm that just tried to slap down on top of you guys. You're just pounding into the side of it. You may go ahead and roll for damage as well. And Netra, I want you to give me a. Now that you're inside, it's almost like with every beat of the heart, the innards sort of compress, and so I want you to give me a.
Raid.
Just give me another dex save for this guy, and I need to do a dex save for my guy.
Are we in this party? What the?
Okay.
Raid! The raid! Yeah! Welcome. Hello! Sorry, I'm looking to the left, but that's because there's an imaginary window to my left where I can see you guys.
Sorry, I'm adding up a lot of these things right now.
Black coffee tree.
5, 9, 35, 41, 46.
Okay, you managed to destroy the last length of stock from this giant insectoid creature that managed to, almost just subconsciously, looking for prey, bring you into its space. Netra, what did you... Actually, I didn't even tell you what to roll. Actually, I did. Dex, what'd you get?
Just straight dex.
Dex plus 1d10.
Get this.
No
Dice
cheating
outta
now.
here. 14.
Actually, that's not that great.
14. Yeah, no, that's not super great. You take, or it takes, I suppose, the exoskeleton that you're pressing through the inside of this giant insect creature takes 26 points of bludgeoning damage. Dude rolled a natural 10, so you just hear like, ha-ha, inside. And that's me explaining that somehow he just didn't manage to take any damage.
Okay.
You see his fingers just go, ah, and they spread out along the heart that he's currently caressing.
His promise ring protected him from Mickey Mouse. Oh.
ST-ing? Is ST the name for the Cyberpunk DM?
I don't know.
Or streaming in VR? Is that what that means? I'm not hip with the no.
I'm not hip
Stinging,
either. I don't
yeah.
know what it means.
I'm using this virtual reality headset to... There we go.
Storyteller.
Perfect. Aha, yes, quite. I'm using it to pretty much be a HUD for my notes. I have cameras where I can see my players, and I've got a few different panels of notes in front of me. The stream to my left, primary notes to my in front of me, and ancillary sort of functions like dice rolling notes and some other reference material to my right.
Or is he just insane?
Actually, yeah, this
It's just
doesn't even
insane.
work.
It's not even on.
Yeah, it's one of those mechanisms where you click the side and it switches to a new picture.
Netra also linked what he sees in the chat. If you want to check that out.
Yeah.
Man, you guys came into a weird episode. Not a lot of super cyberpunky things happening now.
We're trying to fight a giant centipede.
Seems to have
We're monster hunting
seems
right
to
now.
have a radioactive heart that Netra, our resident netrunner, has hacked into an exoskeleton that has no pilot, and is now sort of shifting through the innards of this massive insect creature to destroy its radioactive heart, where there's another ally, maybe stranger, whoever, also who made their way inside and is, right there with them.
I'm going to call this the Desert Punkazor.
Desert Punkazor. Good one, actually. So go, Tink, it's your turn.
I used my reaction to let a burst off from the machine gun into its limb that attacked us. Can I do anything else?
Yes, you can. As I said, that was like a free reaction that was devastating. So
Sweet. Okay, then any other limbs that seem like they pose a threat, I'm just gonna shoot at those as well.
you guys, as continuing the natural path of Astraea, driving the hover vehicle along the left side, you see its large anteater head again, just sort of like shift towards you as its tongue starts to slither out and come in your.
I'm gonna shoot
direction.
at that tongue.
Okay, go for it. If it has a wife
tongue on the
or
first
a
date.
husband,
Ah!
you're ruining the night.
I got 13. I got 19, but I'm gonna use a point of luck to push it into 20.
Oh, nice. Yes, hits.
Okay. Oh god, so many dice.
Wait, hold on. So, no, actually, not so many dice.
Oh.
Roll. So let's see. So
I already rolled it.
30.
Gotta take the
too
lower,
late now.
take the lower ones out.
Take the exactly. You can give it a 2.
You just hear. I don't know if that's actually the sound that a gun would make if it's out of bullets, but the feed, the ammo feed is dry.
Did I get any out?
You're gonna have to use your turn to. Nope, not even one, because you're actually at a deficit of.
No,
we
no,
did this
no, not
right,
now, not now!
about 9 bullets. So we did 36 for 3 rounds.
Okay. Then, can I reload from within the car? Or do I need to like?
Yeah, it's just
Click.
like a simple touch screen of like, you just dip your gun off to the side and press the trigger.
Just drag and
Okay,
drop a file.
I will
just
do
like
that.
Ammo, drag
Okay,
to the
yeah,
box.
you just
I'm
it
reloaded.
literally is you just turn it and you
Drive
see
away
the
from
ammo
the tongue.
Counter get reset very conveniently. Super high tech vehicle. All right, Astraea, you are up.
I'm gonna keep driving around the big creature, and just keep, I guess, staying in. I don't know how far Netra can be from the exoskeleton while still controlling it. So I guess I'm gonna try and stay in her range for that. I'm not sure what range that is though. So,
Okay, yeah, so you're just hovering around the body.
so is it like 10 feet, 20 feet? Where she has to be
It's
in range?
6 meters, so like roughly 18, 20 feet.
Can I be at like the 18 feet mark? Basically, just like
Yeah, so
barely.
literally you're still skirting along the side,
Yeah, just
like right under the most chitinous portion, like with the tiny little legs that are now sort of pulling it forward.
Yeah, I'll just have my shotgun ready, and if a tentacle comes at me from the side, I'm gonna just try and shoot it with a shotgun.
Okay. All right. So with that, you start to see Netra from your position, from the feed of the exoskeleton inside, that hand reaching out of the organic muck inside. You can see that the green of the heart, every time it pulses, it almost pulses some of that energy or its vibrance into the sequence glove that he's wearing, and you see almost like tubes lead from the glove into the muck where like presumably the rest of the body is, and you just hear almost this, like, you don't hear a gulp, but it's almost the equivalent of like every time it pulses, just absorbing more and more energy from it. Yes, and that was their turn. You, oh, actually, no. Yeah, you see their, like, fishbowl, domed, visor sort of pop out as he, like, looks at you, very interested, having no idea how you got in here. And he says, "Quickly, hit the heart. It's satisfying. Trust me. I'm gonna need a second."
Is he playing a rhythm-based game with the heart?
And do I have to crawl to the beat?
You can, yeah, sure. As the the heart's pulsing, the organic pieces are like shifting in and out. Something will be like a neon blue that just like spins in and then spins out. Neon red spins in, spins out. You're up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna keep crawling towards the heart.
Okay, give me another. I'll allow you to use your athletics, I guess. So do dexterity at 10, athletics, your athletics, and then 1d10.
$15.
15. Not much better. We'll say that you make it. You make it.
No, I'm gonna add points of luck.
Oh, okay. How many?
5.
Okay, so you start to the shifting, vibrant red and blue pieces start to get in the way and sort of push you back, and you push it into the next gears. You hear the servos sort of winding and grinding as your thick plated feet are just pressing into the organics matter inside of this beast, finally getting you to the green heart. That's now like almost in a panic mode. You can literally understand the adrenaline that is shifting through this creature right now, if it even uses adrenaline.
Can I still do an action?
Yeah, that was just your movement.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna say to the other people in the car, "I'm at the heart, you guys. I'm looking right at it." And then I'm gonna like slowly like reach out the arms of the exosuit and just like dramatically like grab onto the heart.
Just
Well, I'm like sinking my fingers into the heart like that other guy was doing.
Okay, go ahead and roll 8d6.
Wow.
Tetra, destroyer of hearts. The inside of enemies is your favored terrain.
Oh.
That's why you're able to.
Do
You
we
just
have
hear
one
you-
more?
You're not here to kill me, are you?
Depends on what your name is.
Wow. Okay.
That's a lot of dice.
Depends on where he's from. If he's from the Comet Kazes, he's dying.
We'll have to find out. Or kill him and don't.
33.
33 points of damage.
Yeah.
Okay. Combined with the damage that he had already done or absorbed from it. He's like, yes! As it pulses once more. And the leeway that it gives you after the heart sort of presses out gives you that final before both of your hands clasp together a thin sheet of radioactive
You just pooped his heart.
flesh. What is inside of people? What is your
Guts.
heart made of?
Muscle?
Heart
Love.
skin.
Tissue.
muscle?
They love. You have thin sheets of love in between your hands
Aw.
inside of the creature that just tried to kill
For
you.
nothing.
And so with that, you guys on the outside, you see the legs one by one, almost like dominoes, give way as the creature falls back many feet into the open space of the ground that it emerged from. Netra, go ahead and roll. Give me another dex plus 1d10 to see how you handle this, and old boy will also.
16.
Okay, so the suit takes another 23 points of damage. So the health is 25 and the armor is 25 for this thing. So the armor took how many points last time?
26.
26. So you're down to 24. From this, since it's 23, your armor is down to 23, and your health is still at 24 for the exoskeleton entirely. Dude made his not as well, so he'll take half damage, 11 points. As you see him just get thrown back into the muck and just like disappear inside of the fleshy bits. And you just hear, "Ah! Can you help me?"
Crush his heart.
Combat is over. The shifting mechanisms, the shifting organic mechanisms of the creature slowly come. And any sort of the green light inside and the weird red and blue lights dim, and you have no sight.
I'll just drive up to the side of the creature and park the car and walk up to the. I'm gonna get. I guess I'm gonna try and search for my knife, and then if I find it, I will then go to the opening of the that triangle opening, I guess. Inside of the bug thing.
Are we sure there's not any more?
I don't see any more. It doesn't look like it. We've been driving around here for a while, so.
Any can I do a perception check just to
yeah,
double check?
And give me a perception check, Astraea, as you're looking for it. And Netra, if there's anything you want to do inside or outside of the bug, you let me know.
24.
Yeah.
Natural. Oh, no, that's what I mean. What perception check?
Natural 10.
It's a
Sorry.
habit.
First, it'd be very hard to tell in general because you're still in the middle of a sandstorm. But you don't see any menacing silhouettes around that really brought you into this situation, and you don't see you don't hear any of the sounds that it had made.
Actually, 20 instead. I used 1 point of luck to make it to 20.
Okay,
I think we're all clear.
After a short while, you do find your blade. It was literally just sticking out of the side, pretty easy to find. What did you say you wanted to do, Netra?
I wanted to try and make my way to that other guy and help him out of the monster.
Okay. Go also give me a perception, or give me a tracking. Intelligence plus tracking. Plus 1d10.
I guess I'll reload this gun.
15.
15. It takes you a little while, but he's like almost like just waiting for you, like, over here. And as you sort of like are slowly wading through, you come across the sequence glove just like sticking out from two almost like fleshy butt cheeks. It's just like
Ew. Okay.
This
just
monster
like
just gets
waving
worse and worse.
sequence hand glove around.
Innards are full of butt cheeks.
I'm gonna grip his hand tightly.
You're gonna kill me?
I thought you were gonna say grip butt cheeks. Too.
No.
One hand on the
I'm
butt cheek,
here
one hand
to
on the
help you.
Oh, thank goodness. Well, let's get out of here. Are you taking passengers?
It's a trap.
He's only gonna betray you.
Run away.
I mean, it's a pretty packed car. You don't have. How'd you even get out here?
Car?
What?
I'm talking about the chute.
No, you can't get it.
Oh.
But I can help you get out of the monster.
Oh, that's all I'm looking for anyway. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so you just sort of like pull him towards, go back towards the now dead and sort of collapsed organic matter as you're wading through. He goes, effective way to take it down, huh? I did not expect you. Where'd you come from?
We were just passing by.
Where to?
You don't need to know that.
We see them now. Now that they're outside of the beetle.
He's sort of like, we'll say that she pulls herself out of the shell with the help of somehow Astraea, who mentioned that she was going to assist people or try and find the triangular opening that the exoskeleton came in from. And as Astraea helps the exoskeleton out, the exoskeleton reaches down to help the guy out. He's looking at... Where's the car?
As he gets like halfway out, I'm going to stop this skeleton and be like, whoa, first off, who are you? Explain yourself a little bit here before we fully emerge, like bring you out of this thing, basically. Like, why did it catch you? Why are you here? And
So-
what is it, if you know?
Fair enough to say that you have your Goku blade at his throat.
No, so it's just in my hand. Like, whoa. Like, who are you?
Huh?
Before we help you, who are you? Not like threatening her, but just like a light air of intimidation, I guess you would say.
Yeah, I'll puff my chest out too.
So
as I'm
everybody
reloading.
is around.
I'll
Where's the
lift
car?
up my visor.
The car would be like, I guess wherever the creature fell, wherever we were at, basically. I'm not sure wherever we were at in the drive around it.
He looks at you guys, and he squints. Again, young face. He sort of like pops. He touches a button, and the helmet sort of goes away. Dematerializes. Takes off the sort of like pilot oxygen mask. He has this like I was going to describe a very
Implant?
similar feather that Coltessa had. This is going based off of an art that I found, although Cortessa was also an art piece. He's almost wearing like this like a Padawan braid with an orange feather connected to it. And he looks you guys up and down and he says, "Are you the Mortal Code?"
Oh, how do you know? No, we know of them. We know of them.
we are.
You are the Mortal Code.
Tinker. Shh. Who's asking?
How'd you know?
Adelon Acquire, at your service.
Adelon Acquire?
Adelon
That sounds
Acquire.
fake. He's making his name up.
Nice to meet you, Adelon.
Seeker to the Shepherd. We thought you guys might run into trouble, so I came to help. Clearly we both fell for the same trap. Although I have less of an excuse, as I'm fully aware of these bug bastards.
Probably are you a friend of size? You seem like you fall asleep in this battle.
I was knocked out, and I ended
Oh,
up here.
fell
The
asleep.
storm got, it absorbed me. My solar wings were taken by the storm, and he sort of looks at his arms, and you can see the fabric that you saw shift around and sort of weave around his upper body before, almost like unwinds and opens up almost like buds around his arms, almost like bell bottoms for your hand.
Oh,
for
wow.
your arms. They separate into different pieces. It's like 3 different pieces come up, and he says he mentions solar wings and sort of gestures showing you the mechanism on his body. Had a bit of a malfunction coming over here. But the girl. Is she safe?
How do you know about her?
We, Hakita got communications out to us, telling us that you were on your way.
Do you have any sort of symbol that signifies you're with the resistance?
A badge?
I was planning on laying my own augmented rabbit signs to help get you to a shortcut.
Can we see
and
those
then
signs?
Well, he just sort of like apparates it. You have to have augmented eyes, and he just sort of like holds up his hand to Netra, and you can see the familiar sign of the rabbit. But it's not like the same exact sign of a rabbit. It's literally just like he almost imagines a rabbit in his hand that's just like hopping around.
Think you're a
Does
magician?
it mean
Rabbits
anything
had a
to you
hat?
guys?
Do you see this rabbit, Netra? I mean, I have augmented eyes, but not really like VR eyes, so it's like...
I think he checks out.
Okay, but I guess we'll have we pull him the rest of the way out then, just like...
I probably would have been able to handle it without your help, but I'm glad that you're here, because now you kind of know a little bit more about the Nation of Sands. Congratulations. These are some of the monsters that plague us. You can call them bugs, bug fuckers, bastards, insect shits. We hate them, all right? Real big problem here. So, in between where we are and New Samarkand, to my calculations, you guys have about 12 more hours of hard-to-predict, hellish landscape in front of you.
Need some tea.
I have a way to get us there much faster. It should be around 2 or 3 hours, provided there's no obstructions in the way and the system still works. But, and he looks at all of you, you have to keep it a secret. Can you guys keep a secret?
Would we run into more
Yes.
of these bug things on this little shortcut you have, or?
Oh, I don't think so. At least I hope not. We take this shortcut to avoid them.
It seems like you've
Helps
got
us
way
navigate
right
throughout
here.
this.
Is this shortcut start here, end here, or is this just?
No,
Random.
we've got a little bit of ways to go before before we make it. And I'm going to keep my lips sealed until we get there. Hopefully you can trust me. But again, I'll ask. Is the child all right?
To be honest,
Thankfully?
no.
Oh.
She's
She's
depressed.
alive.
She's depressed. Very depressed. We're all depressed.
She's suffering right now.
We need to-
She's not doing too hot. Not sure what's going on. She hasn't been very vocal, but it's clear that she's not doing good.
Well, someone near and dear to us just died a little while ago, so she's
And she witnessed it
not
firsthand.
really,
So
not
she's
really
a little-
feeling too good in that, in the emotional sense. Not, yeah.
Did they die doing what they believed in?
In a way, yes.
Protecting the girl? Protecting you?
Yes.
There are
Yes.
far worse deaths out there, trust me.
Yeah, maybe,
was pretty bad.
Maybe getting your skull pulped by a big-handed woman is not the best way to go.
Well, if her protection is in your best interest, then I don't see why we wouldn't take you up on your offer to take us to New Samarkand.
And
Put your
unfortunately, I
head
can't let
safer
you out of
out.
my sight now. I need to make sure that you make it there. All right. Contrary to the situation you found me in, I'm the assurance to make sure that you can get there safely and as soon as possible.
I don't trust him anymore.
Well,
Blinded.
I
I can't
don't
imagine.
Or no, I know exactly what you guys must have gone through to get to this point, and hopefully, I can make the rest of the journey a bit easier.
My name's Tink. I may be a sucker, but I trust you.
I got a good feeling about you, Tink.
I'll make the journey easier.
Astraea,
More
right?
drugs. You call me ma'am. No. Astraea is fine.
Whatever you like, ma'am. Netra. Anybody else? That was all that I heard about. Oh, also, where's the big guy?
Oh, when he's trailing behind a little bit. He loves to, do some.
I haven't heard from him for a while.
He's
Not
fixing up.
here.
He's fixing up his vehicle, so gonna get ready to travel. But eventually, he's gonna join us. Eventually, maybe a month. We don't know.
Well, if you have that much faith in him, then I guess I owe it to have the same.
Yes, he's down in New Floridian.
All of this would have actually been done through, like, "Hey, I'm Adeline!" because of the sandstorm going
Wow.
around you guys. So he actually
Yeah.
says, "What say we get out of here as fast as we can?"
These bugs worth
What?
I
anything?
am all for that.
Tink.
Is the gun reloaded?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
reloaded.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
Before we get in this car, I'm gonna have you, Adelon, clean yourself off. You have bug guts all over you. The exoskeleton's getting in the trunk. You could too, but I don't think you want to.
I appreciate the offer, but I don't need a ride in what I'm sure is a glorious vehicle to have made it through the radstorm. I've got other means, and he sort of like hops up,
Oh, yeah,
pats
your
his chest,
solar stuff.
and the the sort of like 6 wings, 3 wrapped around each arm, unwind and sort of sprawl out behind him, and his backpack turns into this very light, like feet forward, almost like one of those bikes that you pedal with your feet while you're like almost like laying on the ground or sitting on the ground. Like he's, you know,
He's gonna
real
pedal
comfortably.
us.
No, he's not
to
pedaling.
see
I'm just
what
saying
we
like the
see.
format of the bike and how he's sitting for the image. This is what he's in. It's like this leaned back, feet forward. He's got like two small like controls on the side that he uses with both hands, and the wings are just splayed out. And he's like, so yes, this would be a confusing sight because the technology wouldn't make sense to you.
Are you sure it's not broken? Because I fix things.
I got
That doesn't look like it's gonna work.
I got a feather blade. See?
It hovers it's hovering just fine. I ran into something on the way here and was able to repair it inside of the bug. So I'm okay. And if you like the sight of this, just wait until you get to New Samarkand.
Yeah, I'm real excited about this lie down rickshaw you got going on here.
All right, and he sort of like he spins his fingers, and this triangle sort of apparates. This digital AR triangle, sort of shards slammed together to form this rotating triangle that he just throws up above his head, and he says, "Follow me," and he sort of just takes off. And as his body disappears, the wings still provide this dull glow that you can see, but the AR effect is crystal clear through the sandstorm.
Now I'm just thinking these flying triangles look like the triangles in Kung Pao. Just, ooh, doo, 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 doo.
No, well, I mean, you know, whatever floats your
That was
boat.
weird.
And yeah, no, it's just like imagine a sim triangle, like the color of the sim triangle, but it's just like a nav. You know, it's like a Halo nav point. Okay, and with that, as you guys are off on the next leg of your adventure, we will take a quick break. We will be back here in around 20 minutes. So we'll say 9:15. No, 9:15. That's 30 minutes. 9:05. And thank you guys for watching this far. Hope it's been entertaining. Again, appreciate any amount of attention with the massiveness that is Cyberpunk. It's been released to the world. Mm-hmm. And as always,
Who rated us?
Until fate. Raid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lord.
It's Lords
Lords.
2424.
Thank you.
Yes, thank
This
you.
is our second raid ever. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Raid?
Yeah.
Yeah, they rated the channel
It's
with 9 viewers.
it's not super intuitive as to like what it means, but essentially somebody else brought their fans over to us or us over to them. Either way, it's a very nice gesture, and we are super thankful.
Yes.
Even though not everybody is
Woo! Welcome to the stream.
understanding.
Well, I'm not thankful. No, I'm just joking. I'm thankful.
Charge the headset a little bit.
There goes my pen.
It's actually not...
Thank you. Thank all of you.
In his deep voice.
Yes. Okay, so we'll be back here at 9:07. Let's go. All of us need to get some food inside of us. And dope. See you then. Welcome back, Sasapunks.
Where am I? What?
The stream of your lives. Well, one of them. This is a segment of your life, and you're here, so technically it's a stream of your life. Anyway, we've got a few things to cover for our new and exciting, awesome vampire viewers. I am Magnus Beasticus, the DM, GM, whatever you want to call me, for the evening, the storyteller, the ST. Yes, so I use my headset to help me DM, and we can just reintroduce the players since you guys came in a little bit late, and just bring you a bit up to speed.
The man behind the curtain.
Astraea, you go.
The woman behind the curtain, I guess. Instead is Rummy the Ever-Living. I play Astraea Magnetar, a nomad extraordinaire. I drive any and everything pretty damn well. I shoot things, I stab things, oftentimes get blowed up, and I have fabulous clothes on.
And if you didn't catch it, Rummy the player is a man.
Yeah.
Is a woman.
You know, little things. Attention to detail.
I am Enzer. I play a crazy old man named Tink. I'm a techie, so I fix both meat and metal. I'm the newest member of the group. I've replaced one of their fallen comrades, and I would say I am the morally good one of the group. Wouldn't expect it, but I'm the good guy.
The crazy old man with a heart.
He's too feeble to be
run a
good.
junkyard.
He's too feeble to be the man.
I'm Luna, and I play Tetra, who is a net runner and also a streamer on the Deep Stream, which is actually the stream that you guys are watching. And if you want to add something into our game tonight, you can just put it in the chat, and then I will either roleplay it or relay it to the group, and we can play it out live.
Really, if in the most appropriate moment to do it is when the players are have encountered a decision that they need to make, or if there's dead air, just unkill it, revive that air, whatever you've got. Okay, briefly about the story. This is based off of Jose Gonzalez's world. His graphic novel, although the place that we're in now has been significantly homebrewed as it's outside of Robo City 16. They're on an adventure. They've been charged with bringing Edena, a mystical, magical, not really magical, an interesting little child who's capable of quite a bit, has some interesting and intriguing powers, and seems to be that the whole of Robo City 16 wants her, and they are to deliver her to the Shepherd of New Samarkand, which they are quickly, faster than before, on their way to go meet. And they have a vehicle called Bastion, a hover car that's imagine super high-tech air car Corvette that they stole from one of the nobles of Robo City 16.
Like a car from, what is that movie with the cybery stuff and the replicants and the...
Blade Runner?
Blade Runner, yeah, the Blade Runner air cars.
Leave.
Get out.
Demagnify.
Take out my chicken stew.
Or enhance. Unenhance.
Leroy Jenkins.
Okay, so let's get back into it. As you guys are following the blue triangle through the wisping and waving veracity of the storm, the sandstorm that you're obscured by now, you see that he almost automatically it's about a half an hour that you travel with him.
Wait, skip this song. Why is it still here?
This is the playlist, Enzer. Next Level by SYN.
It so many times.
I'm gonna ask him if are we gonna head through Tannhauser Gate?
You just hear over the comms, don't pretend like you are actually a fan or knowledgeable about Cyberpunk whatsoever. I smelt it on you the moment I saw you, Astraea. Know your lane.
Are we?
Tell me that smell was.
Are we though? Are we?
Near Tannhauser Gate. I don't know what that is, but just keep following along. We're almost there.
Wish this car had autopilot. It was looking for a button.
And so he dips down. He almost veers down in a way, skirting along the ground, the sand dunes, sailing up and down and up and down. A few more minutes pass before you hit a series of what seem to be large, slate rocks, all sort of overlapping each other. It looks like these rocks are just sort of naturally forming and coming out of the ground. You can see other sort of collections of these slate rocks around, but this is the one that he happens to land at. And as he sort of gets close to the ground, you see him sort of tap his chest again, and the mechanisms of the vehicle sort of recompartmentalize. They come back together into a nice sleek backpack as the solar wings wrap around his arms once more and sort of form that. Dematerialize?
Oh, you're talking about taking it away, not putting it together?
Yeah, it just goes back into the form of a backpack. And he sort of like lands on his legs, and he
Retract.
Thank you, retract, perfect.
Wow.
And he
That's not what I was picturing. Never
Really?
mind. Go ahead.
Picturing
realize that was the word
reconstruction.
you were
That's what I was
looking for.
picturing, I guess.
as the glowing triangle still above his head, and he runs towards the rocks sort of ascend from the ground about 12 feet high, and so he runs to sort of get cover inside of the overhang of these rocks, and he's sort of like waving you to him.
Let's go over there.
Do we go fast? Do we go quietly? Do we go slow? What's he doing? Okay, I'll drive over there, I guess.
Okay,
I'm super tired,
I'll,
so I'm really
I'll
like...
hop on the gun,
hmm.
Start looking around. Can I do a
Do we
perception?
still have the exosuit with us?
Yeah, it's in the trunk.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll say that the exosuit,
That's good.
scoots, whoopsies.
Ooh, I like that.
The exoscoot. That's what he's wearing. That's what he's.
But I thought I said
Right.
the exosuit's going in the trunk. You can too, but...
Okay, cool. Just
It's
want to make sure.
the exoscoot. Jeez,
I
why?
like it.
I'm
Just
programmed.
keep it.
It's an exo scooter.
The exosuit. It is in the nice shape of a like a pelican case.
So
in
it's
the
like
back.
Iron Man 2, the suitcase.
No, that's a completely original idea, straight from the dome. I did that first. No poop. Yeah,
Cool.
so we'll say that it can sort of be carried around like a suitcase. It's still pretty heavy, but yeah, he flags you to come closer towards it.
I'm gonna look around.
Give you a perception check. Check.
I guess I'm still super tired, so I'm gonna be questioning everything he does, but still doing it. Just complaining along the way, basically. Just like, man, what's this guy? Whatever. I'm too tired I'm too tired to actually argue with him. I'm gonna go there. Yeah, try it.
Okay.
12.
There is certainly, you notice a sandstorm around you.
I can't see shit.
Who knew?
We'll just head in then.
Okay, so he flags you down, and there is no like cave or anything. It's literally just an overhang of these rocks sticking out of the ground. And he says over the comms, I'm just making an assumption that you guys swapped codes, exchange numbers.
We'll have our, what is it?
What did we call it? Whatever. He gives you
We got
his
an open
Discord.
channel.
He gives you his Discord ID, and he
knows
talks over
for.
it and says, "No need to get out of the car, guys. Just trust me, okay?"
Whoop, nope, not trusting him.
And he says, "All right, I'll go first." And he just says, "On the count of 3," and then he just runs inside.
Is there a
I told you.
sign above it that says platform 9 3/4?
No, there's not. There's one that actually it's one of those crossed out broom signs and wands. There's no brooms or wands.
No muggles allowed.
I don't want to go there.
When he runs through, do we see? Would we recognize this as some kind of like hologram technology, augmented reality, or something like
Yes,
that?
but it is like extremely convincingly solid and presented.
Well, he said we're going to stay in the vehicle, so
Stay low to the ground. Ground lock the vehicle.
On sand? No,
then
no,
you-
no, what kind of tires I have on this thing? Street tires, not sand tires. But I'm okay.
You just hear this giggling sort of going from, you know, like farther and farther away. Come on, guys. No, this way. That's a lie. But as you pass through
I was like about to get a gun out. I was like, this is definitely a trap.
Yeah, like
I'm trying to trust the DM here, but
like,
that seemed like a trap.
you hit the gas, but the wheels are gonna be spinning because it's sand. Really?
Speaking of
you
traps,
don't have wheels. This
Well, you
is
said ground log. That's why you said the wheels could turn into like it hovers and it turns
sorry,
into wheels.
those were the golden wheels
Oh.
that you
Well,
lost.
Another thing that freaking the kamikazes owe us. If I find one of them, I'm taking all their stuff and killing them.
Dude, you are well within your right to.
They owe me
to
a
strike
mom,
revenge plot.
$20,000 and 4 golden wheels.
All right.
A mom is the main thing.
Tetra, I want you to keep as close an eye as you can on Edena. We will not
gonna-
lose her again.
I'll lift up my visor, and I'm gonna go like to Edena.
Is Edena awake? She resting? What's
She's
her
like
status?
in and out of consciousness. When she is awake, she's quiet. She's almost mute, just staring out of the window.
I got some cyber tape. You want to tape it to her?
Let's get her between us.
I'll hold her hand.
Tape your hands together.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's in the middle of the back seat between Astraea, or Netra, and myself.
Okay. Got it. Makes sense. So as you pass through,
Can I ready to hit the shield if anything happens? Just like
you guys, I'm not going to bite.
I'm not like doing like obvious. I'm just like we're just like hovering your hand over like, all right, we're following you. Yeah, we're following
Yeah, but it's like
you. Yep.
I imagine that he goes through and then just hears like a bunch of preparation,
Like, this guy's crazy.
loading guns.
Sharpen my blade. Shing.
Standard procedure.
Before we go to any cave, we do this.
I can see how you've survived so long. Honestly, keep that up. But you won't find anything past this threshold,
That's what Jay said. Now look
except
where he
for
is.
what we need.
Okay.
All right. So as you guys come through the portal, you are met with no resistance. You are passing through an extremely convincing hologram. And as you meet the other side, you are looking down a large, almost like cargo hallway with pretty much standard fare, like neon lights every few feet in strips just going down. And it seems like, yeah, a cargo hallway that is descending down into the earth for maybe 100 meters before you see like a bulkhead door down. And you see Adelon just like, well, what are you waiting for? See? I told you. Now, this is the secret that you can never tell anyone about. All right? You made a promise.
What's that?
What's
Passage?
what's a promise?
Well, can we keep a mark? You know what? Okay. We'll never tell anybody. Your secret's safe with us.
What?
We are the Mortal Code.
We don't have pinkies though, so we can't pinky swear.
What's that
I'll
you're
hold
doing?
up my pinky.
Oh, well, Netra has a pinky.
It's a tradition in New Samarkand.
I
Once our
haven't done
pinkies
one of
touch,
these.
we are bound by fate. If we are to betray our words to each other now, a most awful and grim future beholds you.
That's
What if-
hardcore.
What if your pinkies touch just by, brushing of hands?
It's technology, man. It's not. I didn't invent it. Our grand sages did.
Were your grand sages children? 5 years old?
You must never break. The
They were
pinky swear.
prodigies for their time.
I
Their
go-
age. Why do you even bring that up? Just
I
grab
go
my
out,
pinky, all
I
right?
go out to.
Pinky swear is law.
I'm gonna put my left hand in my pocket, and I'm going out with my right hand with my pinky.
I hold my pinky out, but I have my ripper claw comes out. My pinky.
I'm not doing anything shady. This is just how I approach.
He just hops around to each of you, grabs your pinky, does like this quick like haha, and sort of like spins around, goes to the next person, grabs. You can choose to pull away, or pull out your ripper blades.
I had a twirl.
I put it away.
See, Tink, we're on the same wavelength here.
My fingers are
old are
crossed
you?
in my left pocket.
I turned 26 this year.
How old? Okay, if you're on the same wavelength, you should be like 96, not 26.
That's age cyst, and I'll have none of it on our adventure. All right, we're all equals here. And he sort of like runs down the hallway and says, "Come on!" And I just realized that you guys are all in the car, so he's just like that.
Yeah, that's why
He's that annoying, like, well, maybe not annoying all the time, but you know, he's like the orange salesman outside, just like.
That's so sad.
Come on.
Why
want
would
these.
you compare
I don't
him
want
to
these.
that
I want this. I
guy?
don't want this.
Asking, like, you know, scratching his pinky along the window. Anyway, okay,
Guys,
so this
very
pinky
nice.
promise, it
Weird
happens.
visual.
Pinky, swear you'll buy this from me? No. Oh, come on.
And so he's just gonna hop on top of the front of the car and say, "Forward!"
Oh.
Get off my roof, please.
I will respect your vehicle if that's what you want.
Yes, please. Yes.
There's
It's-
room.
it's
Just
gone-
get in
it's
the
gone through a
passenger
lot.
seat.
There's a skylight if you want.
He goes, "Why is nobody in the passenger seat? That's perfect." He just hops right in.
Start to drive to where he was going. I'm
We
like,
got
yeah.
precious cargo in here, you know. We gotta keep an eye on it.
As we're driving, though, I'm gonna say, you're gonna wash those footprints off my hood, right?
He's real crazy about this vehicle, so you best just not mess with it.
Hmm?
It would be my pleasure, Astraea.
I know. it
That's
would.
right attitude.
Yeah, thank you, since you put those there in the first place. But yes. But thank you.
Give it a good
And you
spit
look,
wash
and it's
when I get
it's
in.
literally like scraped to all hell. You can't even see any foot marks. It's just like
plastic.
We just came through a
Hey,
sandstorm.
hey, it's polished aluminum, okay? Polished aluminum now.
What do you think he's living?
All the paint's been polished off, so it
gee.
looks like a sheen metal coating, okay?
And he just sticks his finger outside of the car and says, "If you can get me to that switch over there." And as you're pulling closer towards the bulkhead.
Oh, I didn't even see the. I wasn't paying. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention to where we were driving. Absent-minded driver. I'll get closer to it. I am exhausted still, so yeah.
He's looking back with worry at Edena as he looks at you, and he goes, "Do you mind if I would you eat something if I gave it to you?"
Yeah. Just don't make it nothing with sleep stuff in, okay? Trying to stay awake, stay focused here.
I don't understand why I would at this point, but here, this ideally will make you feel much better.
We've been through a lot.
What you got in there?
We don't trust
This
this
drug,
Stems.
I'll take it. I smell it for a little bit, then I just take it. Yeah.
You inject this?
It is a capsule, but it seems to have like actual like herb type substances in it. It doesn't seem like a straight up drug, but as you take it, you no longer have exhaustion. You feel it takes a little while to come over you. You feel clarity come to you, and you almost feel like the sense of haggard, like even your appearance you feel is doing a bit better right now. You feel the sags under your eyes just like, undo themselves.
I'm gonna like look in the mirror like, oh, drugs would have been better, but this is still great. Still great. Keep driving.
All herbal, friend.
You got any more of those?
Boop.
Make some more, please.
I've got a few. The others look better than you do, though.
I'm gonna give him a thumbs up, but my visor is up. So he's just seeing like this disgusting, like pasty, crusty eyes.
Super tanned face, but like a super
yeah,
pale.
that's exactly what it is. Just a pale strip where my visor is usually.
You'll do well in New
sitting.
Samberkin.
What other drugs you got in Pinky Town?
Things I imagine you wouldn't even believe. And if you've got anything to share with me, I'm more than willing. I'm down. Just
I
not
got
now.
A drug bag.
Top priority.
It's just a drug bag filled with like aspirin and ibuprofen. Man, we must look crazy.
Oh yeah,
To
you
this
did get
guy.
literally like a baggie of drugs.
Yeah,
From
they're not
the Quasars.
marked or anything. We just, get a handful and pop them in our mouths.
Look, guys, keep
Party.
it together. We need to get her to New Samarkand, all right? And he presses the button, all right? And the you hear the large mechanism shifting inside as you hear the vibration of the pretty much compartment around you as you feel something slide up, something massive from below you just slides into place as the two bulkhead doors sort of like spin a little bit and separate diagonally, revealing what looks to be a massive cargo elevator. Like you would be able to fit a train car in here, or this seems to be made to ferry numerous supplies or just large construction pieces to and fro. From where? At least to somewhere around New Samarkand. Okay, so he says, well, let's get right in.
Like, will this take us directly to New Samarkand where we need to be, or will we have to navigate the city after we get there? Because I'm a little worse for... Well, I was a little worse for wear. I may be worse for wear in 3 hours again, so...
There's always that possibility when we're out here, Astraea. I can agree with that. But I think that we're in the clear now. This should lead around to where New Samarkand will be. We will have to navigate a little bit farther when we get there, but it won't be anything drastic, and we'll be well within the territory of the Dain.
There's a straight shot over like a windy road here.
Let me show you.
Hold on. Adelon, you got more of this hologram technology in New Samarkand?
It looks like it actually functions since he was fine, but...
Yes, we do.
Alright, I was gonna suggest maybe you just try and like scan it or do some techie thing. See if we can get that, but...
I'll barter with them once we get into town.
This technology has been set in place for a long time. It would be very hard to reverse engineer. And it's not very mobile either.
Very hard or impossible?
You know,
Nothing's impossible
We
for
worked
Tetra.
pretty hard. Smart. I don't know
only
about that,
ever
but-
very hard.
I mean, look at those eyes. Definitely not nothing's impossible.
Yeah.
You see him reach into like a pocket, and you see him like half pull out what looks to be a handkerchief, and he looks at the rest of the party like, do I just click?
I mean, you could try if you want.
Am I the only one who sees that?
It's a
Why do
fashion.
you
It's
let
a
her
fashion statement, okay?
go
It's
around?
a fashion statement, all right?
Okay. Who am I?
Just like your wings. I don't know. Ask Netra. It's her body.
He sort of like pulls it out and is trying to look for words to tell you, Tetra, and he just goes, "You've got something,
right here.
on the."
You know, I wasn't gonna say
you got
anything.
something on your face. Here you go.
But if he noticed
I'm
and he says
gonna
something, he might disturb the locals.
Take the handkerchief and be like, and bat my eyes and say, thank you. But like little crusts will fall off my eyelashes.
Oh.
It's like, oh. You're
He
welcome.
just closes his eyes, yeah, and he goes, "You're welcome."
Make
Oh,
sure you get
no.
that handkerchief back when you're done,
Wipe
Netra.
it
We don't
off.
want to keep it from him.
He hops out of the vehicle, goes over to the controls, presses the lowest option, and you feel the mechanism shifting again as it descends down, and the sides of the walls and the lights are just wherever you're going. It's very far down, and
We're on an elevator type thing?
yes, you're on an
okay,
elevator
okay.
going down, descending into the earth.
Mm.
After
I'm going to ready my gun and be like, the last time we were on an elevator, things didn't end so well. Well, Jay was there, but yeah.
Jay's no longer
Mutants
with us.
and robots were attacking us, so I'm just going to prepare.
I think my headset is very close to death.
Oh,
Things
yes,
are-
it's red. Yeah.
Things are going. Well, let's preserve that as best I can.
We can't know what you look like under the headset.
They've already seen,
Oh.
I thought.
Get plastic surgery, it'll fix it all. Perfect.
And plus, it still isn't me. I'm using holographic technology.
Boom. He's really a middle-aged old lady, so careful.
A middle-aged old lady.
That makes no sense, yeah, but still.
Okay, so The large platform, after about 2 minutes of going down, slowly comes to a stop. The bulkhead doors spin again and shift diagonally open, revealing what looks like an underground railway. There is no train that you see. There is no... You just see an incredibly advanced railway with... actually, give me, if anybody wants to see what kind of technology this is, give me like a... you can either do intelligence plus tech or intelligence plus local expert.
Basic tech? Probably basic tech.
Oh yeah, or basic tech. Whoops.
You
Just
see
keep-
nothing.
keep surfing.
Somebody else do it.
So I got 13. Do I see like an H. Tubman anywhere? Harriet Tubman?
Wow. Yep. She's going like this. She's lifting up a little
This way,
escape
quickly.
hatch.
Come
She reach out a pinky.
You can trust
Same roll.
One?
Same rule.
No,
I
not
thought you got a
one. No, no,
five.
as
Hmm.
Astraea.
I'm sorry, what roll did you get? What roll did you
You
get?
said 13. It was
Okay.
a 13.
It's
Yeah.
hard to tell. But Adelon sort of quickly runs over to the side and says, like, I would have taken this, but I don't actually have the means to. Your vehicle, however, should fit perfectly. Now, he pretty much tries to direct you to get the vehicle over towards the over onto the tracks as he goes over to like a control panel. And he says, "Now I just need to." Well, you can tell me whether or not you do actually do that. You can.
Oh, the tracks.
I'm gonna look around again. Do a cheeky perception check.
Like, Netra, can you check and see what these tracks are linked up to real fast? Just to satisfy my paranoid mind, I guess. If that would be possible.
Yes. I'm gonna get out of the car and I'm gonna go like this. And then I'm gonna place my hands on the tracks
Don't.
and hack it.
You actually can. You do get the ping of local networks
Okay.
and of different services around, if you want to investigate those. And one of them is the panel that Adelon is on currently.
Is it basically just like a subway map?
It is pretty much a subway map. It's like calibrating the system. It is also some services and functions of the underground railway. Like you see, in case you see that it's actually partitioned every fourth of a mile, so every about 400 meters. You can see that there are segments that can be sort of like detached or locked down. You can see that there are, like, in case there's crashes, there are these, you see highlit, as you're sort of scrolling through the map, you see that there are these highlit yellow, almost like mushroom caps lining the walls periodically. And effectively, as you read through the information, you know, playing Cyberpunk has actually kind of inspired some descriptions for some of the things that you might encounter. So hopefully there's a lot of synergies there. Yeah, as you sort of like highlight over the mushroom cap, it's if anything presses into it at a certain kind of pressure, it'll just immediately inflate, and it'll pretty much cause a sequence to inflate everything else in that segment of tunnel. You can see the calibration mechanisms. You can see that it is an electromagnetic railway. So effectively, he's going to lock you into onto the railway and send you from one point to another.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay, so
I mean, I just
Give-
wanted to check and see if there was like any like obstructions in there, like if bad people were waiting for us at any point in time.
actually give me another intelligence. Yeah, give me an intelligence plus space. Actually, just tech plus basic tech.
Got a 1 again.
Oh, that's as best you got.
Damn.
Screw this dice.
As
get
you're
outta
like,
here.
you're sort of like he
no
he
longer
may or
hot.
may not be aware that you're connected to the system. So regardless of what your progress is, like checking things out, he says, "All right." Oh wait, did you?
I guess I'll slowly drive onto the track as everybody gives me like the whole like, oh, this is good, that's good. I'm like, oh,
And now, Astraea, I hate to do this to you. Presses a button. You feel the vehicle sort of like shift a little bit and get locked in place, but you don't need to drive anymore. You can take a nap too. We've got about a
there's so many terrible things on my mind.
roughly
Why?
2 hours.
Excuse me, it was taking the distraction away from what just happened. Didn't I tell you someone just died? It was my mom. Like,
I have some sleeping herb as well, if you would.
I'll take it.
All right.
Thank God.
Throws another sort of a capsule your way. This one green, of course.
I'm gonna pull up my hand and gesture.
Gimme.
Oh, but you look like a pillar of health, Tink.
I'm gonna hold up the drug bag and
You would
shake it.
deprive an old man?
No, I do know. I do know the importance of a good nap. Wait, are you asking for the sleeping pill?
I'm into the hard stuff.
I don't carry hard things on me when on a journey that could be important to the
I'm
fate
gonna
of my
pull out
civilization.
my pinky and say,
Promise me that
When we are safely inside of the walls of New Samarkand, I will show you such wonders that your simple drugs will feel like dust in your teeth afterwards.
Alright, it feels like dust in my teeth right now.
Ah, yes. Actually, that's an accurate description of that pill. If you bite into it, like any other pill.
we're pinkying on this.
He doesn't break eye contact with you, and he just curls his pinky around your own, and just snugs it right in there. Okay. Is everybody ready?
I guess I'll fall asleep after a little bit, yeah. But I'm ready.
Okay. He hops in, just sort of like, this is your playlist.
"This is my playlist."
Sasapunk, Cyberpunk Rpg.
Why did it go to here?
Tavern, Jason Hayes, World of Warcraft.
Why?
It is a very good tavern song.
Neuralink, Extra Terra. That sounds pretty cyberpunky.
This playlist has been tainted.
The fantasy tavern.
I'll fix it.
Corrupting
Okay, sorry.
it yourself.
My apologies.
Oh, no problem. So as he sort of pulls up pulls up these sort of like controls on his arm, just like taps a button, slides his finger across the screen, and you start to like go faster and faster and faster. It's like
I guess since the car's going fast, my tattoo and eyes would start to light up faster. It would light up more and more.
you
as I
see
sleep.
beneath Astraea's eyelids this vibrant yellow push of color, and her tattoos of what you can see is shedding like flashlight levels of light.
Wow.
Sorry.
I'm gonna record it.
I'm just passed out. Just.
I'm gonna record this because I haven't seen this happen yet. I'm like, what the?
What is in kilometers the equivalent of like 300 miles per hour?
Isn't
Why
like
can't you just say
3.3 per
300
1?
miles per hour?
Because only the U.S. uses the metric system, or doesn't use the metric system, and I'm trying to make people believe
Let me see.
that we are from another country.
482 kilometers.
That per hour. That's what you're.
Yeah.
It goes
that's
fast.
right. Black
It
coffee
goes very
dreams,
fast.
Yes.
Go fast.
It goes really fast.
If you ain't first, you're last.
That's what people understand.
I'm gonna try and spit out the window, but it's just gonna like
It's
get
gonna
all
rip
over
your
my-
skin
Just
off.
spit it
face
right
and
in front of
beard.
you.
Ah!
Bruises you as it comes back.
The wind pretty much takes it, and before it even leaves your mouth, just slaps it across your face. The inside of pretty much all the inside of the back of the car is how forcefully the wind was pressing in. And I'd say your eyes are very dry.
Oh.
So is your mouth after the spit. You spit all of the moisture out of your mouth as the wind just dried up the rest.
He comes back in the car and he looks like a dried up raisin. He's like, I'm fine.
This is okay.
Okay.
Too cheap. Yeah.
Yeah, for anybody looking at you, there's like a momentary questioning of your age because all of your skin is sort of like pressed to the back.
Ooh.
And it's like you get a kind
Free
of a glimpse of
facelift.
like a like
20?
30s what Tink may have looked like in his 30s with a really creepy sort of outline.
Dashingly handsome with a weird beard full of crap.
Yep.
I feel great.
Oh, it's at 2%. Okay, so the rest of this is coming straight from the dome. Is this even plugged into power?
The question is that light switch turned on for power? I guess. Yeah, the other one. It should be, I
Too late for that.
Yeah.
It should be. Okay, so you see that the tunnel is curving slightly, and you're going along this very mildly winding track.
Guess that would I'm not buckled in or anything, so I'd flap and sort of slap.
Mildly windy.
I thought we're going super fast though, so it's like shh.
Even at the speed, it's mildly windy.
Okay,
like
never mind.
imagine one slight turn taking like 4 miles.
Oh, wow, never mind. I thought it was gonna be like maybe a slight turn taking like 100 meters or something. Or 200
And then
meters.
immediately does a loop-de-loop.
Then what happens?
And a spiral. Sorry.
Wow.
Okay.
We are. Then I'm just falling all over the car. And now I'm
Jeez.
dead.
Okay.
I'm out the window and dead.
Before you hit a spurt about an hour and a half into the ride, and I would even say that like the has turned into a kind of white noise. So if you are tired, just go ahead and give me a will plus concentration. If you're not trying to fall asleep,
I'm not trying to fall asleep.
then give me a will plus concentration.
I'm gonna do a will plus concentration.
Hey.
Well, what should I do actually? If she has
You're already asleep.
if she has nightmares about her mom dying, because she's pretty upset about that.
Well, yeah, I would definitely imagine. I would say give me a will plus concentration at disadvantage.
First one's a
Shit, my
9. Let's
britches.
see. 8. Okay, so
You are lightly sleeping now. You're not deeply sleeping. Your nightmares are bringing your consciousness to the surface. a
so
little
I'm
bit.
just like, fuck.
Yeah.
This pill's not working, Adelon. Fuck.
It's like you get a glimpse of even your father saying, "We'd like you to come with us, Astraea." And
I
then
start crying in my sleep a little.
Rubbing the salt in that wound.
it's not. It's Astraea's mine, not mine.
Yes.
So you come to a straightaway, sort of like
I rolled as
And
a
everything.
1.
going with the winding. It's also just like rocking you to sleep.
You all smell something.
No.
His morality kept it in while he was awake.
He's a
Yeah.
good person.
I have
He's
2
such a good
ladies
person.
at my side, but all that goes away.
You lost the spoke.
Edina's also sleeping. What'd you get?
26.
Okay, you are wide awake. So is Adelon, as he's almost like looking actively outside of the window. Sometimes he'll turn around to get a look at Edena and just kind of like stare, trying to figure her out.
I'll just be holding her hand, and every single time that he looks back, I'm just looking dead straight at him. Not like menacing,
You know,
but like,
you guys
Like
had a
wiping-
moment.
not
Wiping-
menacing.
Wiping
but
your eyes
I'm
with his
just
cloth.
making him aware that
Actually,
He just looks at
We
you and
will
says,
protect her.
"That's why you guys have made it so far."
you can just wipe Edena's feet with
And
the cloth.
as he's turning around to look at, like he's talking to you, you see far off into the distance, what looks like an obstruction in the
Great.
middle of the path. It looks to be, by your calculations, as like we'll say that you're, just to make this easy mechanically, your HUD automatically tracks onto it. You've got about 12 seconds before you hit it.
You got a rangefinder.
So roll initiative now, everybody.
Oh man, I'm asleep though. So should I do like a
Ladies first.
negative on initiative?
This
or
is
since I'm
yes, I would say just roll at disadvantage.
Do I still
stupid
roll?
cocked.
If I'm asleep.
Yes, at disadvantage, because this will be like if you need to be woken up. This will be it'll come into play after.
13 is what I got. With
13?
disadvantage, Yeah.
Wow.
2 double ones over here.
Snake eyes.
You lose 3 seconds as Adelon
Ah.
is still talking with you, and you're. Do you have the headset on or off? Visor up or down? Well, we'll say
Down.
down, yeah, because you. So he doesn't even see like the shift in your eyes. Actually, yeah, we'll do that. He says, "What's got your attention?" And that's his turn. And oh, actually, let's see. Okay. And then oh, oopsies, sorry. Writing down. Fill the dead space with necromorphs.
If anybody's curious about the music, this is Master Boot Record, and they are awesome. You should check them out.
It's funny. I think they are actually Nordic or something like that. 'Cause it's funny. All their symbols on their albums are the Helm of Awe and like the compass from like a Nordic and Vikings like symbols. So it's like, what the? That's
They're
crazy.
all around awesome. You should
Yeah.
listen to their albums from beginning to end. It's
It's like a
Dope.
rock opera,
Yep.
but like tech opera.
a metal
What is it?
chiptune.
What is it? Master boot record? Is that just turning it on, turning it off, turning on, turning off your computer? Basically, like the master boot record of your computer.
Yeah,
Wow.
Netra, with your turn, I would say make a full round is lost, so you're at 9 seconds.
Okay.
You are up. You can look for things. You can ask for more information. You can just, if you want to do something, we can talk through it. But it seems clear that if you don't slow down, destroy the obstruction, or find a way to clear it, you will hit it at absurd speeds.
Adawan, is there a switch up ahead that we can switch to? Anything? One of those 400-meter segments?
He says, well, why? And
There's an obstruction up ahead.
there's not enough time to stop.
If I'm awake, could I
I can't do that.
try and flip on the what do you call it? The height thing to maybe like force ourselves off of this like magnetic track and just like
You are not
go
up,
up?
yet. Netra didn't wake you up. So you can also wake up everybody
Yeah.
else.
Definitely, violently shaking them all awake.
Okay. So we'll say that your turn is waking everybody else up and like showing them the obstruction in front. So next up is Adelon, and he's going to go, there's not enough time to stop, but I can slow it down as best as I can to buy us some time. And he just takes the meter on his control sort of band, slides it all the way down, but it's like I don't actually know electromagnetic stuff, so maybe it can do it immediately, but in this world it's just going to slow. So it buys you 3 more seconds, but that's the most that it'll do,
you know, be like
which means that you're just at 9 at the end of this again.
be like in the Expanse. If we stop too fast, we'll pulp ourselves. Basically,
That yes, we go with that. That's what he
Oh
says.
my
Just like the
God.
Expanse, if we were to stop too slowly at this point, we'd pulp
Too
ourselves.
fast.
Just
Yeah.
yep.
Great.
Slow us down! Slow us down!
Yeah, he already is. So he's like, you can feel a very slight lack of force, I suppose, or force that leaves you. Astraea, you are up.
Could I ask, like, is there any way to uncouple our wheels so I can go up over the obstruction, possibly,
Hover!
as I'm like
Hover!
holding the hover thing, like, as it's like,
It looks like there is a very small gap above and to the left of this. You can make a perception check for free to try and see what it's... Actually, not for free, because you're going very fast, so it'd be a bonus action.
I guess I could be like, Tim, the gun's reloaded. Could you maybe like whittle down the obstruction a little bit so I can get over it with a little more leeway or something? Maybe I'm not sure if that would actually work.
I'm on it!
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the handles to the machine gun controls and just try to target the obstruction right away and then unload on it.
As soon as
Okay.
we're close enough, I'm gonna like try and just like, but keep us within like the area of like not too high, not too low. Basically, like try and keep us where we're not like slamming against the rooftop or slamming against the obstruction. Basically,
That is going to be one hell of a driving track.
Yeah,
Astraea.
yeah.
And
that's what I'm like,
you're not at disadvantage
crap.
right now. So,
Yeah.
Astraea, I'd say then you and Tink are taking your turns at the same time because Tink was right after you.
Yeah.
So you're on the gun. You're pulling up. You're trying to pull up. So go ahead and give me a driving check and give me a firing like a
20.
Not to hit. Just roll damage.
Oh. Well, right then.
It's a growing target. Yeah. So just 66 this time because Netra's not overloading the power.
I'm gonna use well, it's right now it's a 23, but I'm gonna use 3 points of luck to make it a 26.
20
Okay.
points. 20 total.
20 total points of damage. Okay. All right, you guys. Top of the round, Netra, you're up. You have 6 seconds. 9 seconds again because he bought you 3 seconds. As you your driving check, you pull up, and there's such force pulling you down as Adelon's also trying to tend to the controls to make it easier. You pull I would actually just say that you don't succeed this time.
It's
Like you're like,
no, crap.
and Adelon is at the same time trying to adjust the mechanisms on his arm to like relieve the magnetic pressure while also looking at you like this
I'm
could
like, come
go
on, Adelon.
very wrong.
Come on, Adelon.
As you push 20 bullets, just and you hear this like very similar. Heck. Sorry. Give me a perception check.
Okay.
Still hard to tell what actually is obscuring, but you see like small flecks flying off and some sparks here and there. It seems like you are definitely impacting something and like shedding it down. So you're keep it up, I guess. Netra, you are up again.
I'm going to send out the feelers and try and see what I can hack into. Like if
Okay.
if that thing is even hackable.
Okay, go for it.
20.
Okay, you see that every about 30 feet there is you didn't recognize it at first because it's harder to see or it's harder to tell outside of it being highlit yellow, but you see the sort of like circular, almost like shields on the walls of these mushroom caps that would certainly slow you down, but it also clog up this section, which will save you effectively, but you need to do a certain amount of force to them. Also, that might remind you that if the car does get out of hand, these things will just sort of like
They're like
airbags.
oh, okay.
Exactly. They're like, imagine like foam airbags that just like.
Speed racer.
I was thinking Marathon Man, the foam that comes out of the car and like solidifies, like keeps you there, and you have to like break it for some reason, like you're in a packaging almost.
kind of like that. Yeah, like the Hulk, the first Hulk, the best Hulk movie, the first and best.
Hulk love flowers.
Also,
Let's not go there.
We won't go into that. Viewers, just ignore that.
Okay. So yeah, so you see those caps. You do see that they are actually on whatever it is that's obstructing the this portion. They are directly on the shutting, the shutters, the bulkheads that separate the different segments off for like damage control, flooding, earthquakes, things like that. So yeah, that's. And then you also have the similar controls of Adelon, so you can also like slow down, or I would say even assist. You can use your turn to either affect those, like the door, the mushroom caps, or assist in either Adelon's roll or Tink's firing, I would say. And anything else that your imagination can conjure in this make-believe realm.
I'm gonna yell out to Tink. Those mushroom caps can slow us down immediately. Aim your fire at them.
I'm on it.
Okay. I gave you guys too much time here, I feel like.
You did. I feel.
Well,
the
it's
same.
6 seconds per turn. So right now we're.
No, it is 6 seconds per turn. That's
But you said
right.
he gave
It's
us 3
totally
extra
not
seconds.
3 seconds per turn in Cyberpunk. It definitely is 6 seconds.
No, well, 3 seconds per turn. So we still have another 6 seconds.
You have Adelon goes, oh, ooh, whoops, and he sneezes, and his finger sort of makes you go
Speeds
faster
us up.
again.
I knew he was a traitor. I knew it. I knew
And
he
you
was
lose.
a traitor.
And this is the last round.
We gotta kill him now. He's a traitor.
Adelon is just frantically trying to mitigate the damage with his controls, and you that's his turn. Astraea, you're up.
As a bonus action, could I? Well,
You notice that
Just for-
your attempt last time, and I would say probably you're still trying, like almost got there. It just wasn't good enough the first time.
so would me activating the barrier button? Could that be a bonus action, or is that a full action? Just like. Boop?
That's a bonus action for sure. You're just touching.
Yeah, I would actually just hit the barrier button and be like, this is just in case things don't end up the way we want them to, everybody, so hold on! And then I go for the lever switch and I just crank it up and try and do it, yeah.
All right, do another roll.
Natural 10, hey!
Yay!
Wow. Okay. Yeah, and Adelon goes just at the same time, like, and got it now! As you just like the maglock like disappears as you sort of like pull back. The vehicle tips up, so your portion of the car is leaning up in the air as the barrier is activating, and you can even sort of see it sort of scraping along the sides of the wall.
Oh gosh, what?
But you're still going forward very quickly. So you did manage to separate yourself from the lock at no damage, like no slamming around. Tink, it's your turn.
Instinctively, I reach into my drug bag, no matter what happens, and grab some reflex, slam it into my thigh.
Okay.
So I get hopped up real quick, and I look at the.
It seems as though the voo, 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 voo has gone from to like
Slow mo.
I'm like,
Mushroom caps, mushroom caps, mushroom caps.
and yeah, and I'm gonna try and shoot at them.
Okay, go for it.
Get this trash out of here.
Definitely hits. You sort of like as the vehicle separates from the maglocks, and you are sort of like your vision dips down as the entire vehicle sort of tips up. You're looking behind you now, sort of like you swirl it around as you have to, and you just see this perfect line of these like almost shields on the wall, and you just like, and as the like one bullet, two, your vision goes white. Everybody's vision goes white and then immediately black as there's this like domino effect of this foam just that just snaps into being, and you are looking outside into utter blackness in within the barrier that you're in. Your vehicle, you notice, is still like hovering, but the barrier is fully consumed by the white substance. As
it's protecting us from the protection.
You almost immediately are like shuffled as the substance hits you, but it activates so quickly that it's this jerk that tugs you like forward and then just sort of solidifies. And Adelon goes,
Are we past the obstruction, above the obstruction, or like right before the obstruction?
For drama's sake, you're right before the obstruction. There's
Like,
like
I
part
can
of
touch
so
it.
part of the barrier, now that you've had a moment of pause of like, you hear, and you look down and you see that inside of the barrier is the head of a bug type creature that is stuck inside of the foam at the exact threshold that you were firing at.
Is it like
You're firing at.
is it like stuck in the foam, like right in front of us out the window?
Yes, and he
Can I
goes,
shoot it?
and Adelon goes, I told you guys to keep a secret. Now the bugs know about the tunnel.
Adelon,
And that's where we'll take a break, or that's where we'll pick up next
as I
time.
put my face in my palm, like Adelon, grabbing my gun.
We all grab our guns. And we all cock them.
It's just the last scene from The Mist.
It's okay, family. I got you. Ah!
Have you seen The Mist?
No.
Such a horror.
Never mind then.
Goodness, yeah. Like, that was. I felt so bad for that guy.
Thank you guys for joining us again on this very momentous night where the release of Cyberpunk 2077 came out, and The Mandalorian newest episode. We very much value your time. Go ahead, and if you liked what you saw here, we would love it if you shared it with your friends, family, anybody you think would also enjoy, as the more people are involved, the more fun we all have. All right? It's a rule of life.
We'll spread like wildfire.
Also, just to plug a few more things, The Maze, the interactive D&D show, The Maze TV, twitch.tv/The Maze TV
Oh
show.
my god.
Whoa. Say that one more time. It's twitch.tv/
The Maze TV show.
Got it.
TV. There's 3 more TVs at the end of that. Anyway, sorry. It's a new
TV.
D&D stream. It's supposed to be very interactive. They're using all of the, what do you call the mechanisms of Twitch? Extensions to enable the
widgets.
audience to affect the story. So I play one of the characters inside, and for instance, if we've you can pretty much choose the path in front of us. You can choose the enemies. I've been having a blast doing it. It's every Wednesday from 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The only unfortunate thing is that you would have to miss the losers stream. Luna under me, Enzer to my bottom left. Together they make Loser. They are an awkward-adorable couple. They are married and they stream together Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and Fridays. This is the only D&D night that they have. Otherwise, Mondays they're doing
Monster Hunter.
Monster
Are they
Hunter.
married?
Wednesdays,
Tax
Red Dead, or
West people.
Western people Wednesdays and flying around Fridays.
Flying around Fridays with No Man's Sky.
Very broad terms.
So yes, and that's everything I think. As always, everyone, as always, every time that I
Again.
never
The
forget.
next sentence begins with until.
Until fate next brings us together, and never
stop
playing
role-playing games.
Unless Cyberpunk 2077 comes out and the day you play